Now, where we last left off, though, we had just completed our mission to investigate the grave robbings.
And the fireless sarcophagus.
Callous Stress.
No, that was not the mission.
You did some incredibly chaotic, evil stuff in somebody's tomb.
Hey, he was not a nice guy.
All right, chaotic neutral at best.
I was
That's
chaotic
like
good,
saying
so
it
I
was
was
bad
awake.
for desecrating Adolf Hitler's tomb.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this guy was Hitler. We don't know.
We didn't know at the time.
My character feels no sympathy for peeing on him.
I'm sure if I was in Adolf Hitler's tomb, I'd try to burn his crotch as well. But hey,
I never said put the torch in his crotch. I just said burn.
I remember burn the crotch. Somebody said
I
crotch.
didn't say burn the crotch.
No, we had come in and somebody had already burnt the crotch.
No.
Yeah.
I said burn.
Maybe when you
the
walked in the room. Oh, is that what you're telling the police?
Yes.
The crotch was already singed when we got here. I'm sure that had something to do with it. Okay.
My idea was to completely cleanse the entire crypt.
I believe all of these maps belong to you guys, so you can have those back. I probably picked them up when we were using the thing.
Yeah, because you said we don't need those, so...
Yep, probably move them back.
So did we lose the kobold also, since that was employed by the
No.
spectral mage?
He was employed by your office, so for the time being, the mage works for the office, and you guys as a group can decide whether or not you want to get rid of the kobold when the mage leaves. But
I like our kobolds.
right now, as long as the kobold gets paid occasionally, he's going to stick around because it's way better than getting beaten.
And fried rat, it's always good.
And the fried rat.
The food is great in the city. The city kobold life is definitely agreeing with him. If I recall correctly, I may have to find my mission notes for the other mission that's in the area. You guys were going to be heading north and then heading east along the river.
To go check out the tomb, right?
This one here might also be yours. To the green dot on there. No, unless you're going back to the tomb. I think you guys did to make sure it was sealed up, and that
Yeah.
was over as well.
Yeah.
And they
No, I meant that it wasn't the next mission. Go to some tomb, dwarven ruins, and look for stuff.
No, that one is to the north, and you also don't have the map yet. The guy who said he
So
would
we
provide you.
we didn't accept that one. Really.
This one
We talked about it.
is.
All right.
Is it the
um,
beast?
This one's to go to a town in Panshaw, named Panshaw. Panshaw is a city on the river, which is notable because it has one of the only working bridges other than Waterdeep between that and the next major area up. No, that's okay.
Neverwinter.
No, not that far up.
No, but that's my point. Between Waterdeep and Neverwinter.
No, that's between Waterdeep and Neverwinter. I think is where the keep is. You're looking at this river here,
Oh,
the
okay.
Desare, the River Desare.
Okay.
So along the River Desare is a town called Panshaw,
All right.
and that is where your next mission
I
takes
think
you.
the
I can
dog
reread
has
that for you
females.
if you'd like.
We didn't level up,
Right.
right? Like I didn't forget.
No,
to
you
level
haven't
up.
leveled, but you
Okay.
did gain some XP.
We're at
Yeah.
2020 now.
Yeah.
We're 1,000 off.
I didn't know when the.
No, 2,000.
No, you're
2,000.
800. You're
I thought it was
3,000 is when we level again, so we're 980 points off.
when they hit level 3, we finally get out of our god awful
Yeah,
debt.
and we can go into level 2 at that
Grade
point.
level.
Yes.
And then level 4, I get 9.
Actually,
Do you want? What level do you want her starting at? 1.
she'll be starting at
level
2.
2.
Okay.
She'll be coming in at level 2 with you guys. I usually try to feel out the group for whether or not we should strictly do XP based on, like, if you die you lose some, or if you come as a new character you come in at level 1 or the nearest level. But I definitely don't want to penalize somebody who wants to join the game and like hasn't played in a long time or ever. So definitely level 2. We'll probably put her equal with XP with Chris. And then if somebody ever gets killed and has to develop a new character, then we'll make it interesting and start them at the level below or whatever.
This is the mulligan.
Yep.
Here, you get the freebie.
There's no reason to be worried about that. If someone is behind, I will only continue killing you. Okay. What?
Yes, I heard that. And
I agree. Okay. The Beast of Briar.
Yeah.
Panshaw is a city due east of Waterdeep on the southern side of the River Desare.
Is that the one we said we were going to do next?
It's in
Yeah.
the same area.
Okay.
It's like kind of on your way back to Waterdeep.
Oh,
Because you're south of on the long road, and a little bit off to the west currently, where the city of Kalis Rests is.
Beast of what?
Briar.
Are we-
Briar.
So do we want to? I mean, do we want to stop and take care of this before we get back to Waterdeep, or do we want to go back to Waterdeep first and then come back out?
If we're gonna do it, let's do it on the way.
Okay.
So I prefer we just hit it on the way back.
Okay. Fine by me.
That way we're not walking in and out of the city
Mm-hmm.
a couple different times.
Unless your intention was to go back to the home office to check on stuff, or buy something that you specifically felt you could only get in Waterdeep, there would really not be a reason to go back.
Nope, I trust in the fact that our kobold is taking care of mail and such for us, so.
I believe you've only been gone 3 days, so.
Okay.
The five has already taken over our basic
Yep.
operations.
They've murdered
Yeah, I
better
really
not.
hope we don't go back and they've like.
They're too busy catching that.
Tilapiyas cube.
Yeah.
Sharon, if you have any question about anything, including who are the 5, just raise your hand or interrupt. That's fine.
I can't spend the whole game asking questions.
You
about
can,
everything.
in fact, and many people do. So,
And especially when they're very
cautious.
cautious. Remember,
Takes one
like I
step.
said, Rex from Toy Story.
Takes one step. Alright, I'm gonna roll to see if someone's following me.
Eventually, I will have someone follow Jason. It'll be the day he doesn't choose to look.
That'll never happen.
100%, someone's gonna follow him.
We're in
Why?
the
Why?
forest. This girl is following me.
And all I can think
It's a
of every
spy.
time he described what his
Because your
character was.
character's backstory is talking about how you run away.
I'm just saying, why is it anytime I'm with a bunch
Look,
of
if you're
friends I
lucky,
need
I
to
won't
get
name
picked
it
on?
Mr.
I know. Shut up. I was thinking that.
Mr. Jones.
No. Shut up. Oh, none of that. No.
So Panshaw is a city due east of Waterdeep on the southern side of the River Desare. The town is known for supplying trout, catfish, and perch to Waterdeep, as well as notable for having the only bridge between Waterdeep and Golden Fields that crosses the river that remains standing.
All right.
It is a city of 1,000 or so, mostly halflings, humans, and half-elves. It sits only a few miles from the shadow of the Ardeep Forest. The city is old and contains several old buildings and dilapidated structures, but it pales in comparison to the major cities in the area. And that is everything I will tell you about the city before you go there. I'm assuming a 10 on a knowledge local would give you that much.
You want to roll for? Doesn't one of you have that skill?
Right, so
I
what
have
was
knowledge in everything, so.
the actual letter on this?
Okay, you've got a copy of the letter with you. It started with a plain brown envelope that came to your office, and the envelope was actually from your
Faywin?
friend Faywin Meadows. In it, there was a letter from her friend, a woman by the name of Catherine Youngmurch. It says, "I don't know what else to do. Nobody else will take me seriously, and Lee has run off again chasing some fantasy in Briar. You know, the old ghost town inside the Ardeep Forest. Look at the shit I found in his room. If you know anyone that might be able to help, tell them to seek me out in Panshaw."
It's not good.
What?
I should not be getting wet.
Are you getting wet? Carla, stop spitting at him.
Hey, you were the guy who were trying to get the camera on my boobs last week, so I don't want to.
I don't see any.
It's right here in the
I'm
corner.
seeing. Yeah.
Cause see where it's up in
And
that
rolling on the
corner.
inside there.
Alright.
Got
Job?
Is
Got
that
a copy.
all that stuff that you put there? Did you put that there? That
Yes, I
caulk?
cocked that.
Okay, so you're gonna have to recock it, I guess.
Yeah. Some of that has worn away or something by now. And they have to actually get up on the roof to talk it.
The good news is it's fucking torrential downpour, and you're getting a couple drops.
Yeah.
So, local politics. Is
Okay. Alright, so
So,
local, current local politics.
current local politics. You guys are currently in Kalis' rest. You've had a rest, and you've wrapped up everything. You got your money. You divided it, and you are free to do what you please.
Well, we were going to go to that one next anyways.
Yeah, we'll stop.
Yeah.
Because of the kids. First was the from the graves, and now this.
Yeah, we'll stop and see what we can find over here.
It's like Paul insisted that we go to the necromancy one first
Well,
because
I was morally obligated
yeah,
to go after that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Look, fuck you. 3/4 of the party was very, very in support. 10 out of a possible 10 defiling a necromancer's tomb.
Well, I wanted to
I'm
completely.
pretty sure somebody else wrote, marginally opposed to defiling, but he wasn't
the
there.
only one.
So,
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Rex.
yeah. The wizard is, quietly following you around. He's often reserved anyway, but you don't notice a change in his demeanor at all. You estimate that if you left first thing in the morning after breakfast, you would arrive late in the evening at Panshaw. So if, normally you would make camp, but if you pressed on for an additional hour or two, you'd probably reach the city gates. And it just so happens to be over breakfast that you're looking at your maps and trying to decide.
Let's say we probably leave immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get over there and
Because kids missing. I mean, look what happened in
Yeah.
the last batch.
yeah, we got a kobold.
Yeah, we got a free cobalt out of it.
Yeah, who's taking care of our pest problem now? If he can get the bigger pests across the road, we'd be all right.
Maybe if we get 2 kobolds.
One kobold eats the rats. Maybe 2 kobolds will eat goblins.
He was scared.
That's how that works, right?
That's exactly really.
Just get some
There's
pigs.
nothing wrong with your math.
That's kobold. That's kobold logic.
Well, we just got to get some pigs.
This is true.
All right.
We
God.
one time fed a corpse to a pig.
They covered up their murder by
That's
tossing.
not a good way to get rid of evidence.
Exactly. This is
See,
The only
I'm
thing
not
they
the
don't
only
eat is
one
the
who's
shoes.
diabolical.
It was definitely justified. So between that and the tomb, I'm
So
starting
in
to
all
wonder.
fairness, the guy we killed was like
He was a bad guy. He was definitely bad.
he was like a child trafficker or something, right?
Exactly.
He did
Yeah.
work for a organization that trafficked in slaves.
In that case, he may have been a little merciful.
Yeah. And at
Well-
the time, he was just being an extortionist. But
Well, my character shot one arrow through his head, and that was the end of that.
it was one shot.
He finally got a hit
Yeah.
instead of
He did not do well against the
spiders.
kobolds.
Or spiders.
But we never did find out why his last words were peanut butter key lime pie.
That's our next name.
That is going to take several years of learning about the human brain before someone figures that one out. But okay, are you departing? Is there any business you still have in the town?
We took care of the
Restocking and
undead.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, we're good to go.
Alrighty. As I believe you paid your bill up front, you all check out from the inn and head on to the long road north. Because you're sticking to main highways that are well patrolled, you don't have any trouble. It does get to be late at night, and you can choose to either press on or camp. You do think you are accurate. You'll probably be at the town in 2 hours. It'll probably be what would be considered 10 o'clock by the time you arrive.
Do we want to
Press on.
Yeah.
Okay. Camping in the field is not quite as fun as renting a room and having a warm meal in bed. So you press on, and you do arrive safely at the town gates. There are a number of guards standing watch.
I'm sorry.
and they call out to you to identify yourself when they see your torches approaching the gates.
And they're just weary adventurers coming, seeking for an inn for the night.
Okay. Actually, I need my dice. So the two guards exchange glances and hold up their torches to get a better look at you. They're satisfied that you do appear to be an adventuring group, and they open the gates. Please mind your business when you're in the city. Don't break the law, and you'll have no trouble. And once you're through, they close the port.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much. I know it's late at night. We've been traveling all day to come here to see your city specifically.
Okay. You're probably looking for an inn. I heard the Traveler's Rest has plenty of rooms. It's just 3 blocks down and to the left.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay. Following the guard's directions, you travel 3 blocks and to the left there is a well-lit, looks like a newer structure, the Traveler's Rest, has a sign in front of it. There's a couple of horses tied up in the front that are sleeping. There appears to be a slight commotion inside, just normal tavern sounds.
Oh, okay. All right. It's like commotion. I don't feel
Get ready for a bar fight.
Like drinking and laughing and,
Alright.
and such.
It's like bar fight.
Bar fight, it's happening.
Good.
No, it's not.
All right. I will go in there and
It'd probably be better for like the ranger or our finest thing cleric to go in, because you and I need
You guys are
kinda-
kind of
yeah, we
outsiders.
kind of stand out, and we don't need any trouble this late at night.
He's got his hat on.
not only that,
There's
I
a
would rather.
reason I want them to go ahead and secure the rooms,
Okay.
because with your dark vision and everything, I want to kind of get a layout of what we're looking at, night versus day.
Sounds well. Can you guys go secure
Okay.
the room?
Yeah.
We'll take care of the horses.
All right. We'll go.
I'm actually going to stick with those two first. I'm guessing you also have another reason for separating the party. Jareem will accompany them in as well, because he stands there sort of silently until you look at him, and then I'll go inside. And he goes inside with you. But you have not yet told him what you found in the tomb. You mentioned that you were going to do that. So
Damn, he remembers.
I remember stuff. It's my job. If that's not what you intend to do, then I can just go with them. But I thought you might want to share something with him.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I wanted them to go take care of that. There's some things that was found in the tomb that you were wondering about, that I had come across in the pouch.
Oh.
As I hand over the masterworks of the pocket.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh.
one of the things there was a masterwork set of thieves' tools.
Oh, these are nice.
Things like some climbing batons and door keys that are flexible.
And looking at the dog to see what she is trying to do, what she is doing over there, because it's one thing if she goes after stuff downstairs, but this is the man cave. This is all my stuff. I just want to be sure she is not going to
She's
destroy
just-
something. Or
Do
she
you
is
have a door?
I think she's trying to pick out
Does
a
there have
D&D
a door
book
you
for
can
you.
shut?
I think she's
at the
trying to
bottom
go
of the
down.
stairs.
That might be.
She may have difficulty
You
going
may
up
have
the
to get her to go out and then shut the door.
But I don't mind she's up here. I just want to make sure she's not.
She
Hey,
seems to
this
be
looks like something
doing
I can
okay.
chew.
I don't think
Or
it's
worse.
Yeah.
One of these old.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Oh.
I found these. I did not want everybody to see,
Mm.
because I know, considering where they came from, if there was a curse in that tomb, I know our cleric would not really appreciate it. He wanted to file everything. This might come in handy later on.
I will certainly keep these. I have a I have my own set that I've been using
I
for it, but
know.
this will be a good backup just in case something goes wrong, or if they have something else in them that is not in my set. But I will certainly take this and look at it on my own.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want, because the cleric and the ranger
Mhm.
and everything there, it was not the proper place.
Okay.
Now, we're also here, they're getting everything. It's rowdy in there. This way they've already secured the rooms. We go straight up unless you're ready to eat or whatever.
A bite to eat wouldn't be bad. I don't like to hide from everything.
No, but in the same sense, remember what we heard coming up. It was, everybody was getting a little wound, and it's late.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to walk right into a bar fight because the past that we usually end up getting dragged in.
I will try to stay out of the fight.
Now, there was
Don't
another
worry,
item
Mom.
that you did get. I'm not sure if you intended to share that.
Not,
Okay.
not
that's
at this
fine.
time.
All right. Going inside, the two of you, Zaus and Morven, enter what appears to be a packed tavern. There is no real concept other than sort of a Sabbath day of like a work week for most people. Farmers work every day. Cobblesmith, everybody works when work is available. But there seems to be like a large number of people enjoying time at the tavern. So you kind of have to squirm your way between chairs and people talking and standing around to get to the bar, which has two different people working at. One of them seems to be specifically about gathering drinks and distributing them. The other one you identify as probably the tavern's owner, a elderly woman who seems fairly muscular and is like ringing up somebody's tab.
A lady of considerable physique.
Yes. If she wasn't running a tavern, she might be punching horses or something.
Madam, are you the proprietor here?
Indeed, I am. You were looking for a room for the night, or just a couple drinks?
A room and some drinks and a meal for 5 people.
Five people. Yes.
Yeah, forgot about the Jareem for a minute.
Separate rooms or one large room?
We can do one large room.
All right. I've got a 4-bedroom, unless you can't share with somebody. Otherwise, I can split you into 2 rooms. I've got the 3 and a 2. But if you're willing to share a bed, one of you, then I've got a room for you. I can probably fit you in at about 3 silver a head, so 15 silver, and that includes breakfast.
I'm not sure everyone would be keen on sharing a bed. Maybe we better do 2 rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That'll be a little bit more. It'll be about 17 silver for the 2 rooms.
Okay. I will pay the lady. Where did I write all that down?
That converts to a gold and 7 silver
Probably.
if you want to lower the change.
Okay. A gold and 7 silver.
Yep.
I will pay her 2 gold.
Okay.
So that she
For a
has
tip, or do you want
so
change?
she has a little tip.
Okay.
Unless you want to break it down into.
She puts the money around. You say you can keep the change, and she hands you and Zaus and
During.
Jareem a beer. Bing, bing, bing.
I will hand the beer over to him.
And Ranger double fist.
Maybe that's why I have so much trouble aiming.
Jareem from behind his mask is like, all right, I'll go get the others now, and wanders off. And as soon as he leaves earshot, the bartenderess goes, what's his deal?
He's unique.
Unique, yeah, to say the least.
Is he quiet?
He's a bit of a private person.
Private, quiet, he won't cause trouble.
That's
Man.
fine. You both seem like you're the type who won't cause trouble. I appreciate that. Sometimes we get troublemakers coming through town.
Nope.
And then, of course, she spots the other 2 going through, and she looks mostly at Cherie and goes, does that one cause trouble? You're out of your shot. You're just kind of walking in.
I see her looking over though, and
She's looking around while she's like pouring a drink.
and
She solves more problems than she causes.
a matter of opinion, but as long as she solves them outside, I certainly don't mind.
I'll try to pass that on to her.
Fair enough.
I do the typical when I come in, scan, see.
You're wearing your hat. You're hiding yourself, or your horns specifically.
And that they're not underneath the hat per se, but I am not boldly displaying them either. For it.
You actually, as you're scanning the bar, you notice a few people eyeing you back. It actually, you might not have noticed, but the people who are in the bar already notice a slight dip in the noise level as some of the people who are chatting glance at the tiefling with suspicion. But they, when you kind of dodge off, they go back to talk.
Okay.
And if I notice that, I'm just
Race is
doing a
really causing chaos.
hello and keep moving.
He's part demon.
Yeah.
Or long time in his ancestry, a demon was infused into the family line. So he's got some demonic horns that peek out, and that drives some bumpkins a little unnerved by it. He sparkles, like a twilight vampire.
That's exactly where my
Stop! Don't ever say that again.
The true vampire.
No.
No, he's got kind of a otherworldly glimmer to him.
But people like him. They don't like me.
Castiel.
Right. He makes people.
See?
He makes most
She
people
knows
feel
all the
easy.
supernatural references, so
all
Right. So Morbin just has an aura around him that makes most civilized people feel easy, whereas
So basically, we have Lucy and we have
Kurth
Castiel.
Fair enough,
does not.
fair enough.
The
okay,
opposite.
Lucy must be someone I don't have not met yet.
Anyway,
Lucifer.
Oh,
They call him Lucy.
okay. I was thinking Crowley, but
Now, Crowley, that's a whole nother story.
my favorite depiction of a devil, the devil, in TV is from a show
Legend.
called Reaper.
That is that as good as it looks?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. The first episode had me cracking up so hard because this dog, it was like a Jack Russell or something, runs up to the guy's car and is jumping up and barking at the window. And the stoner guy who's like the comic relief of the show is like, look at this dog! It just opens the door. It was hysterical. But no, it's a good show.
Sounds like
The devil is perfectly cast.
Okay.
I don't remember the actor's name. You'll see him and you'll be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, I know. I've seen commercials and stuff for
It's
this.
like the perfect mixture of car salesman and sleazebag.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at this guy. Oh, wow, he's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I go. The show itself looks kind of cool.
It was a good show.
All right.
Tom let me borrow it. All right, so moving on. I'll speed through this one a bit. You guys retire to your rooms. Everything's nice. You get some rest. The bar calms down at about an hour after you've arrived anyway. People go home. You fall asleep. You wake up in the morning. Praying, resting, having a morning beverage, coffee, beer, whatever it happens to be. You do kind of go over your
spiked
missive.
coffee.
You should, at some point, since you're here, meet with Ms. Catherine Youngbirch, who lives at 6 River Lane in Panshaw.
All right.
I'm there.
I say we head over there.
Yeah. Once we've eaten and everybody's set to go, yes. Let's head over that way.
All right. You arrive at a squat 2-story building on River Lane. It looks similar to some of the buildings you've seen in Waterdeep that people reside in. Nothing opulent about it, but it's a modest home. You're there. Nothing else you would be able to find out at this point.
Okay. Go up. Knock on the door.
It takes a few moments before a half-elf woman answers the door. Can I help you?
I'm there. Greetings. There. It's my understanding that you are in need of some help with your son.
Okay.
right?
Miss Younger.
Are you with the?
Faywin Meadows.
She's looking over. Oh, okay. She's looking over you. She's trying to figure out if you're with the city guard. But when Zaus mentions Faywin, she goes, "Oh, you guys are the adventuring group." She mentioned friends that she was sending.
Is
The
that
Motley
it?
Crew, or did you
Yes.
change your name?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Just
CSI Waterdeep.
CSI Waterdeep. Come in. I already. A friend of mine is here. She said she was going to help as well. It's very good timing. She brings you into sort of a tea room where she's got like a small setup for tea. And there is a female there who can describe herself because I don't know much about her.
Oh, you're already being put in. You're being put into the story already. Here you
Pretty
go.
much everything about what you say is up to you. You are a druid, so you probably have leanings toward natural
Non-people.
things, non-people. If you're probably wearing leather or hide armor, you won't use any metal except for certain weapons. You don't wear metal armor. You don't use a metal shield. Druids range the gambit from looking fairly ordinary to looking like they just rolled out of bed from a bunch of mud and timber, on the side of the road. They typically don't like civilization, or they may tolerate it, or they may try to tear it down. It really depends a lot on what your belief system is and how you cope with it on a daily basis. At the very least, you're in tune with nature, you respect it, and it respects you back. And in a lot of ways, you exert some level of control over it. I don't know, and you might not know either, if you are human, half-elf, elven, halfling, gnome, half-orc, or other. Since you're starting off at level 2, you do have some options there, but typically a druid may wind up being either human, half-elf, or elf, for the most part. If you have a strong leaning now, you can pick it. If you don't, I will leave it ambiguous.
I'm leaning toward elf, but
Okay.
give me. let me get back
We'll be
to
able.
it.
I don't think anyone will complain if I say an elven woman now, and 2 weeks from now you say I wanted to come in as a tiefling or something like that. You'll be fine. Okay.
Oh Lord! Don't get Jason another reason to be like,
Oh god, I gotta watch this other
More
tiefling.
demons. More demons. So there's an elven woman sitting there who appears to be naturally armed.
Greetings.
Do you have a name in mind? Okay. She just introduces herself as a friend. Catherine introduces her friend. This is my friend. She's helping me find Lee.
Somewhere in there, wasn't sure if he morphed from describing my character to describing me.
I wasn't sure either.
So you sit down and make some polite conversation. Go ahead and start with that.
Well, greetings. I assume you know all about the why we're here and the search.
About the missing child that your friend has.
I know a little bit.
You know that Catherine has a son named Lee, another half or quarter elf boy, mostly human, that has a bit of a problem running away. He is obsessed with some kind of rumor about some kind of beast that's been taking people, children, or cattle nearby the area, and he thinks every couple months he thinks he knows what it is or where it is and runs off to find it, and then usually comes back with his tail between his legs. This time is different. He's been gone for a long time, and his mother's extremely worried. You're here talking to her about it, but you haven't yet offered to help, but you were thinking you might. That's about where you're at. You don't know much more.
Catherine's her name?
Yep.
Lord. Catherine. It's my understanding that Lee has done this a couple times, but never this long. Tell me, what is this thing he's going after?
What does he say?
What are
it
these
is?
rumors?
She sort of sighs and puts her tea down and looks at the ground and tries to steady herself. And Lee's always trying to connect random events to some sort of greater conspiracy about a beast that lives in the woods of the Ardeep Forest. Every time somebody's child goes missing or a farmer reports that some of his sheep were killed in the night by a wolf or something like that, he thinks it's something more dreadful. And every once in a while he runs off toward a neighboring town or into the forest or to sneak around somebody's house late at night because he thinks he knows what's going on. But this time is different. Usually he tells me, I'm going there, I'm going to catch the beast, I'm going to find it, I'm going to prove it's real. And then a day or two later he comes back and you know, quietly admits that he was wrong about something.
How many kids are
Where-
missing?
She kind of sits back and she's thinking, just like, it'd be hard to tell. Sometimes the kids come back, like, you know, a child is missing for a day or two and then they find it, or somebody, a person.
But
you know,
but the children are okay when they return?
It's not just children either. Sometimes adults have
Well-
gone. I mean, it's just normal things. Like one time, Susie Timbles down the road disappeared. Turned out she was locked in a closet for a day, and you know somebody found her. And one time, old man Harris walked off. He's got brain problems, and my son thought that maybe he was kidnapped by the beast, and a few days later they found him dead in the ditch.
But
Where did
how
he-
many? Go ahead. Go ahead.
What is this? Like, where did he just invent this beast?
She kind of like picks her tea up and then puts it back down. I think you should come with me. You should come to his room. So she leads you up a staircase and around a corner, and she pushes open her son's room. Lee's room is indeed obsessed with this mystery. It looks like a conspiracy theorist's room with pictures of beasts of various types, clippings from newspapers about wolves attacking farm animals, children wandering off, stories of beasts from the woods or elves waylaying travelers, and they're all taped to the walls with lines drawn between them. There's papers stacked on his desk in bed. It looks like a cross between a tornado and an obsessed person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy-
This is my daily struggle.
What kind of beasts are on the walls?
Good question. Roll a 20-sided die.
Everybody?
If you're all trying to find stuff, yes, go ahead.
What
Well,
about
She's not upset if you start looking around at
What I was going to ask
Is
is,
that going in jail?
her. Go ahead, Jason.
what I was going to ask is if you guys want to,
what do we add to it?
Yeah.
Your search check.
Search.
I was she doesn't have one, so I was just going to whatever you come up with.
16.
Okay, you'll probably have a bonus to
5.
that at some level, especially because I think it's wisdom based.
Search. Yeah, that's
so
14.
16 is going to be quite good. You're probably bordering 20 at that point.
if Faywin, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind staying up here looking through this on a.
Her name's Catherine. Faywin is the other one. It's okay.
Faywin is the one that is in
Recommended
Waterdeep.
us.
Okay, Catherine.
Yes.
Okay. For it, I really wouldn't mind looking through this and getting a better idea of what's going on through here. For it, you had some other questions.
Well, I was
Yeah,
gonna
sure,
say
so,
the.
Do you, if you don't mind, can I stay up here looking through this while they get some more information?
So your party's already kind of started looking at a few things. You're being polite, especially because it's a friend of yours. But she not. Yes, if you think it will help bring him back, please go ahead and look through his room.
I'm not going to destroy anything.
I'm a
or
little
move stuff. I just
upset
want to look
right
through
now,
all of
so
it.
I'm going to go downstairs and rest.
Okay.
But feel free to look around.
4.
So the rest of you have rolled numbers. What'd you get?
6.
6. You find nothing. What'd you get, Morbid?
5.
Okay. You got, I will say, a 20 with a 16 on your die roll.
14.
14?
19.
19. So 14 and 19 are pretty good. You managed to find a lot of articles that fit this theme. I'll talk to you in a minute because you find something special. You've got articles of children, livestock, people disappearing or being attacked by monsters, but Kurth, you find a bunch of articles that refer to a man named Welver Rast. He was a trader who used to travel between Panshaw and Waterdeep. Most of the articles are mundane. Welver wins fishing contest. Welver talks about taxes during local meeting. But one of them talks about Welver being reported missing by his wife, Mrs. Catherine Rast. And all of these articles are old. Like 20 years ago. That would be before Lee was very old. You don't really know what the time frame is for Lee, but you think he's a older teenager. So some of them at least would be before he was born. They seem out of place because most of the other articles are recent or about the monster or about people disappearing. Or these specifically, like Welver wins fishing contest, doesn't make sense to you. Nameless elf druid. You're moving aside some papers on his desk when you realize that there is a hidden drawer in the desk, something that is out of place. So you spend a little time messing with it, and you actually pop it open. Inside this drawer are two things. The first is a receipt of some sort, and the second is a bowl of a dried herb. Because it is an herb, you might know what it is. Roll another d20 for me.
Something.
Some other people at the table might as well if you fail, but
11.
11.
You tell the rest of us, like, oh, hey, look, there's this.
Well,
Go
she
ahead.
may or
and-
may not.
I'll give you this.
So I
Okay.
was asking is if she did.
Okay.
You think you know what it is. So let me go with that first. You believe that this is a bowl of belladonna. Belladonna is a herb used in treating lycanthropy, or werewolf syndrome. It's rarely successful. Lycanthropy is a dangerous disease. The herb itself is poisonous. So there's just as much chance that you'll die from trying to treat yourself as you'll be successful and cure the disease. Moreover, this belladonna is dried and it will not work. It needs to be fresh in order to work. It's also known as wolfsbane and is highly toxic. You have not shared that information with anyone yet, so you may choose to keep it to yourself or share it. However, someone probably noticed you pull out a bowl of herbs and set it on the desk to look at it.
You gonna share it with us, or?
She's trying to figure out if she trusts you. You're new.
Yeah.
I just met you.
Of course.
I did find a bowl of dried herbs. I'm not entirely positive on what it is, but I do have an idea.
Would anyone else like to look at the herbs? This is a knowledge nature. If you have it,
I don't have
you
it.
I
can- you
have
know
knowledge
everything.
nature.
Knowledge nature might be better for you since you are a ranger.
I get a +2 to that. So.
Go ahead.
13.
13 is enough to tell you that it is belladonna and that it is known as wolfsbane and that it is highly toxic. But you don't know what she knows about the lycanthropy or that it's not going to be effective.
Okay.
But knowing that it's called wolfsbane might mean something to you.
This is called wolfsbane, guys.
Wolfsbane?
It's a poison. Let's put it.
It's poison. I'm not sure why he has it, but
It's useful, but it's poison.
So next to
What
the
does it
bowl
do,
is also
then?
a receipt. Are you interested in that as well?
Very much so.
Okay. The receipt, you hold it up and take a look at it. It's a receipt for a local blacksmith. Let me see if I find it here. Where's the fucking thing? There we go. A receipt for a dagger from one of the local smithies, but it seems incredibly overpriced. Like he paid a ridiculous amount for this dagger.
What?
Like gallon of milk, $50. That's the type of discrepancy we're seeing. That dog licked my ankle and then left.
Yeah,
That's what she'll do drive-by licking.
yeah.
You taste like sweat.
He was practicing his trumpet today and didn't know she came in, and all of a sudden she licks his leg. He jumps.
Amazing.
I would kind of.
That was very good. Everyone found out everything you needed to get there.
Nice.
If it's okay with you all, I'd like to swing by that craftsman on our way out of town and ask about this.
Oh, we absolutely will be checking that out. I want to.
Yeah.
As I'm looking through these pages,
Are you calling anybody over to notice them?
me, and there, I haven't really found much of anything yet. Okay, for it, in here, I've got some things, but I'm not. I'm trying to gather all of this information, and then I will share it with everybody. For it. But I'm not calling everybody over one at a time. Hey, I found this. Hey, I found that. Okay. And there, I'm more methodical than that. You know it.
Yeah, we know.
For it.
Yes, Rex.
When we're looking at when I'm looking
Speck
through
of
these
dust.
pages and
I've
things,
seen it.
is there any discernible order to the different piles that he has? Like, this is piles that are dealing with wolf attacking animals, wolf attacking.
Not really.
Okay.
It looks much more disorganized.
Okay.
But you find everything from newspapers to sketches.
Okay.
I'm going to walk over to you since I didn't see anything on my own and start going through what.
In there. As you come over, I'm gonna show you the pile of stuff about Welvor and just say, this is odd. All of this stuff about here. Take a look at this.
I need to take a small break.
The reason why I'm looking at it and I see there's one thing that's standing out. Okay, we're not exactly sure how old Lee is.
Yeah, we can find that out though.
Right.
All I have to do
but
is
look
ask
but look at
the
the
mom.
name of the wife.
Yeah, that caught me too. For it.
Catherine,
yeah.
and his mom's name's Catherine,
Yeah.
and there's no mention of
A father figure for
exactly, and
Lee.
that's one thing I know you don't know yet because he just stepped away. But with you being a friend, if you would know if anything about the father
Father.
figure or a male figure being within the house, because if they were married, she could have gone back to, could have been remarried after she was pregnant.
But this is all part of why I'm not announcing all of this to everybody, and I'm just kind of quietly handing you. Here, take a look at this.
And well, that's what.
Okay, for it in here, and I'm not announcing it to everybody yet because I don't know her very well.
Well,
Okay.
As soon
Hell,
as he
you did
said
that,
that
you-
there was a friend visiting, I knew
I-
exactly what
I had a
was
feeling too. I was like,
I knew.
he said, yeah, there's a friend of there. I was like, oh, okay. This is where he's going to start introducing Sharon's character.
That caught me off guard totally. If it's any consolation, I did not see that one coming.
Neither did
I
I.
did. I saw it coming.
In here, I was like, why are we getting another person joining us? Oh,
Maybe for the person that's joining us.
no, I get it now. Okay.
Although I guess this means like
Um,
officially that you're
Yeah.
booked into the party.
So, the,
That's fine.
Sheree, I have questions about this stuff, and
Never
I
mind.
want to ask
Okay.
Kath
Aw.
about
Okay,
all
maybe a
of that.
little.
Well, and it seems
but-
like
So I got questions
can't
about
read
that. Other thing, and I'm gonna announce
That's
this
what I'm
to
thinking
everybody
too.
in here. Okay.
That's the only thing that would make sense.
If you knew enough for a little
In
snake.
all of these attacks.
You would know enough how to
So,
kill a wolf.
let me. I'll tell everybody. All right, hey guys. As we're looking through all of this stuff, I want to see if we can find a little bit more of a pattern to this. For example, I want to look at the dates that are for all of these newspaper clippings about the attacks? Are they a week apart? Are they? Is it the next day? Is there a pattern for the dates on the attacks? I just want to see if there's something
I'm glad
that.
I'm not the only one getting that vibe of this is like a episode of Supernatural.
Okay. But I just want to get an idea of what, where everything is, and if there's anything that maybe, if Leah's going off every so often at certain days, okay, are they coinciding with the time periods between that we're seeing with these attacks for it? Okay. You know, I'm trying to. I just want to see if we can get some more information about the attacks from these clippings, as far as when, where they're occurring, any of that type of stuff.
Well, if there's anybody involved and they come up missing, how long? What's the span in between? You know, that they're gone. If they're gone a day, if they're gone two, if they're coming back with maybe like a little scratch or marks on them, where they're being found at, because they could be like the older man, he was found in a ditch, like she had said.
It may not be such a bad idea to talk to some of them as well, because
Yeah.
some could be just wandering away, whereas some could be what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and we will. I will
But
talk to them, but I want to see if there's something in here.
Well, we got to get their names from here anyway, so
Yeah.
why don't we just all get together and...
Yeah, that's more of what I'm saying. As we're looking through here, try to find some sort of pattern, some sort of.
Does our cleric have any idea on the
I
situation?
rolled terrible, so I feel like
No,
I should.
we're all sitting here talking. This is a group.
Any idea on the what?
The situation, because everybody knows, because he has said what, basically you guys have told him and I, because we
Well,
had
I
the
thought you
crackers.
two were just talking to each other.
No,
Yeah,
he-
Initially we were, and then I then announced to everybody, hey, look for patterns, look for the different that breaks in the time as we're looking through, and it's more something that I'm telling everybody.
Okay.
Hey, let's look for this.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll need to wait for him to get back if I'm going to roll again to search.
Yeah, and I'm thinking we're not. It's more just as we're looking through here, try to note any kind of patterns. Absolutely, we're going to write down names of people because I want to talk to them in here and try to get an idea if there's something common between these attacks. Okay, and their occurrence,
Because
and where they
he's showing
occur.
you the papers and all the articles now.
Okay.
I'm not-
That's really totally out of my element. All that stuff.
I know. For-
What's
Well,
I know,
we're
but-
trying to keep everybody in the loop that's in
Yeah.
the party.
But I'm more explaining what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, and maybe your eyes will see something that I don't see.
Okay.
For it. And
We'll see if I get lucky.
And that's what I'm looking for, and absolutely write down the names of the people who have been attacked, and specifically those who have returned. I would like to talk to them.
Okay. I'll jot down names when he tells me what I've seen when I look through the stuff.
And I would like to get,
While we wait for them
Yeah.
to come back, I'm gonna use back.
and I want to hear more about like any kind of legends about this thing. I mean, if this, like how long?
Like set up if we're not using it.
Because
We
he's
are
recording it.
So I can
Oh.
keep track of where we are.
Okay. I didn't realize he was recording.
Yes, for it.
So he can count how many times he says the F word and how many times.
So I'm just trying to find some sort of pattern between all of this in here. How long these attacks have been going on? Why are we just hearing about these attacks now?
Well,
Yeah.
there's some things that, towns so they don't cause such a big freak gathering by, oh, it's a cult, let's go, the cult following come
Yeah.
running in. They might be actually keeping it down low, or, as Catherine says, they might hear, oh, well, it's just a superstitious legend, and they just push it off.
I got the impression, but I didn't want to say anything because I rolled so poorly, and it was something that I thought you two were discussing. The Was it you that got the magazine about the guy with the fishing contest? Was that you or him?
That's something
Right.
that I found that I have
Okay.
not shared with
It
the whole
sounded-
group yet.
Sounded to me like the old stuff was possibly the only true stuff, and a lot of the other stuff was like the tabloid magazine in a grocery store.
Yeah, it's odd that this stuff is here when it's all about the attacks, but I have not shared that kind of stuff with anybody yet, mainly because I don't trust her, so I don't know what's
Oh.
I don't know what's going on.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, I'm a demon. I'm not.
Well, I was
I'm not to be
being
trusted.
quiet because that was a terrible roll, so I figured I was just having a brain fart.
No, that's something that I found this, and I have not shared this with anybody
Okay, well,
outside of Sheree.
Just erase everything I just said then.
Stricken from the record.
Yes, you hear that? Delete it, Phil. Delete that information. What? Nobody knows. Jedi mind trick. All right. Some of the things that we're doing out here, since you're back now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back.
Fort, please don't lick me. Okay. As we're looking through these clippings and stuff that he has, what we're looking for are kind of patterns, so to speak. Okay. Like the people who are disappearing, are they? Is it okay? They disappear, and then a week later somebody else disappears, and then a week later we're looking for some sort of a pattern between them.
Elementary school
How? So I want to look at the dates for when they're being when they're reported missing in the paper.
Okay. Earlier I said that you couldn't find a pattern between the papers. When you're thinking more about it, and I'm thinking more about it, you actually do find one pattern. Most of the cases in which an obvious solution was found have wound up in the kids' trash bin. So most of the stuff that's still on the walls especially are open cases that don't have an easy explanation. The walls appear to be where he's taped up the things that he thinks are the most interesting. And time frame patterns, you don't see one.
Okay.
But you do find a location pattern.
Okay.
Most of the real disappearances or real animal attacks or whatever you want to call it appear to be southeast of this city and or in the Ardeep Forest, and a few of them mention the town of Briar, which is an abandoned logging town that was inside the Ardeep Forest, but was abandoned something like 50 years ago.
That's where we probably have
How
to go.
old did you say those oldest articles were? Like 20 years?
The oldest articles, yeah, are about between like 20 to 15 years old. And all of those mention this one person, Welver. Welver
Okay.
Rast.
So she saw those too? Because I thought.
She? She found
'Cause
some
it-
special stuff. If you weren't mentioning it, then either you have to hide those papers,
Okay.
or she'll eventually bump into them as she's also
Okay.
searching.
I'm kind of keeping those for now.
Okay.
And
Then no, you don't really notice.
okay. What was the first attack, so to speak?
Wow.
Nearest I can tell.
So the oldest one that specifically mentions farm animals being killed, suspected wolves, but really no proof of that, about 4 years ago. No, you know what? 10 years ago.
No.
Yeah. Let me
Big difference.
back that out a bit.
Yeah.
How old is he?
You can find out from
Catherine.
Ms. Youngbirch that he is 16.
16. Okay.
If he hadn't done this before, she'd assume that he went off to be a man, but this is like a childhood fantasy of his.
Okay. All right.
Now, obviously, he did not collect all of these articles when he was 6 years old, so he must have gone and gotten like old articles or stuff like that.
Okay. After, And you share that stuff about the dagger and everything, right?
She mentioned wanting to go to the
Go to
blacksmith,
the-
so yes.
Okay. Once she's done that and shown the herbs, and our ranger has said, "Yeah, this is bad."
I don't know that it's bad. I just know it's wolf
You
sting. I don't know what it is. What
You know
wolf
it's a
sting is
poison.
for. Yeah, I know it's
nature-
poison.
You know that it's a poison of some
Yeah, you know
sort,
it's a poison, so it's bad
You don't know what
Okay.
it's used for.
for it. So after we're done kind of searching, okay,
I'm gonna head downstairs and check on her
okay,
while you guys are all up
Yeah.
here.
and I will take
Magic missile.
I'll take those papers back too on your way down.
I do
Okay.
this with magic arrows.
All right. As we're going, Cherie's going downstairs. There's one thing that came
Our
up.
DM has been taken over by goblins.
That's with the ears. That's a kobold.
That's a cool.
Is
Hey,
Fred
look, we
right
found
here?
our kobold.
Plus, aren't kobolds more dog-like?
Roll initiative.
You better be keeping good track of our books there.
Yes, good call.
Court. There is one thing that I found that I was kind of keeping track, keeping off to the side for a moment to see if I found anything else within here. But throughout all of this stuff, it's all been about attacks, except for these articles here that are about this guy named Welvor Rast that happened about 20 years ago. He's got a bunch of these articles. I don't know why he has these articles in here. They don't talk about attacks, but they're all articles about this. And he was reported missing from his wife, Catherine. So,
While they're going
Sharon, can you make a d20 roll for me?
7.
Okay.
I think this says it's
I'm-
cursed because I've never rolled good.
I'm
with it.
going downstairs to check on Miss Catherine.
Okay.
She and do I see her in the living room?
She's cleaning up the tea from earlier.
going-
um,
I wouldn't mind. Do
she
you
barely
know
notices
anything
you
about
unless you.
who this Welvor Rast is?
Miss Catherine?
I don't
Oh
believe
yes.
What?
Can I help you?
You haven't heard
can I
Catherine
ask
talk
you a
about
couple
this, right?
questions?
Yes, of course.
No,
Then-
I had only
I
gotten
mean,
here shortly before you
just
all
so I
arrived.
can try to get a frame of mind for your son.
Then
to
I'm going
see
to-
and
Anything
I think
can
it's
do to
worthwhile
help.
to go ask her
Um,
about this and who this
There's no
Welvor
mention
Rast is.
of a
and-
male figure in the house.
What?
If you,
All right, so we'll go downstairs and we're going to talk to her.
I'm
But
already done.
she's already
She's
done
already
there.
growing.
Shireen has already left the room. Is
I know.
interrogating the woman about her husband.
I know.
So
Who is he?
she goes. No, there isn't.
Don't
Okay.
lie to me.
Because the reason why I'm asking is just some of the articles that
Those
were
are bad rolls.
upstairs.
That
You
roll
know,
is good for her.
I'm just
She's
trying to
rolled
figure out so we can maybe see if there's a connection that he might have gone trying to find
Except for
somebody
that
that he
one,
thought
that's
might have been his father
It's a
or.
repeat offender.
Ah. Yeah, this one is too. I'm
Um,
thinking I might just permanently kill that
He's
criminal.
never mentioned or asked
Go
about
for it.
a father, and I've never talked to him about it. His father was meaningless to him. He left shortly after Lee was born, and I
I mean, you can take it out and roll it if you
changed my name and moved on.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm just trying to see if we can have. Does he have any friends here in
Try
town
to
that,
nurture it.
or any other male figures, adult that he might look up to since that?
want. If it rolls a one, you jail it.
I'm guessing that the rest of your group is going to come down roughly as you're saying this. Oh yeah, Lee does hang out with some of the other boys at school, and there is a local fella who runs one of the sports teams here that Lee does look up to quite a bit. He works at one of the logging camps normally.
What's his name?
I will write it down. His name is Sven, S-V-E-N, Orsgaard.
What camp is he at?
She'll give you the address. It's the Panshaw Birch Society. It's a couple streets over.
Well, Are you done, Sheree? Before I. Okay.
Does he do anything outside of this that he might have been into? Was he into fishing? Was he into a certain kind of sport?
Not particularly. He was in sports. Yeah, he did play in some of the sports teams for his school. But other than that, and a bit of a predilection toward hiking, hunting, not so much fishing. Just wasn't as exciting for him. But he did some hunting and hiking. But yeah, that's really all that's really all he had for hobbies.
You didn't like fishing?
No, he was more into archery. That's the sport. He played archery.
That's kind of interesting. Only because one of the articles that we found up there that didn't seem to fit well at all mentioned a Wilbur Rast and who was a local fishing guy.
Her face visibly pales a bit when you mention Wilbur Rast. He had articles about Welver.
Several.
She swears. Shit. I didn't think he would ever find out about his father.
Welver is his father?
Was his father.
Was.
Welver ran off years ago.
One of the articles mentions a Catherine being reported missing from his wife, Catherine. Are you that wife?
That would be me, yes. I reported him missing. He was never found, and I suspect he ran off with some lady. He was known to drink and to wander off with ladies now and then. I didn't look long.
Did the disappearance?
He was gone.
Does
He
his
left
disappearance?
when Lee was a very young child,
Does his
About 6?
disappearance?
or earlier. He could, like 2.
Is his disappearance? Was it similar to some of the disappearances that have happened around town? Except he never came back.
No, and that would have been ages ago. I mean, you've seen Lee's room, but I don't really follow that stuff much. I mean, some people, they wander off all the time, but you would know just from looking at it that all of Lee's stuff is within the last 10 years, and most of it more frequent, either just because the access to the articles or just because he's putting things in some kind of, order in his mind. But no, nothing. There's nothing else there from 16 years ago. The earliest was 10.
Just
Okay. Go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, did Lee know? He didn't. You're saying he didn't know who Welbor was, right?
He was too young.
Or, so, what makes you think he would? Why do you think he would have these articles?
I suspect he wanted to know about his father. I don't know how he figured it out. Someone must have told him. I've always told him that his daddy left, and I never gave him a name. I'm shocked. I'm as surprised to find out as anyone.
Is there anything else about Welbor that we should know about in case he decided to go looking for him?
She kind of thinks about it. Welver used to run trade between Panshaw and Waterdeep. When he went missing, he never showed his face around here again. I'm assuming he ran off with someone he met in Waterdeep or on the Long Road, and changed careers. I mean, it's possible that something terrible happened to him, but that's not what I believe. We had a fight a few nights before he left. It was a pretty serious one about his drinking, but I assumed he'd had enough of me, and after a few days of mourning and wondering what the hell I was going to do with my child, I went back to playing the harp, and I've made a good enough living for us since then, and I don't miss him. But I'm just disturbed to find out Lee even was trying to find him. He probably changed his name.
Well, we don't know that he's trying to find him. It's one lead that we're looking at. It makes more sense that he's going after the beast because that's what he's always been going after. Okay, and that's what 95% of his room is concerned with. It was just odd that we saw these little things, and I just wanted to ask you, since you've been in this town long enough, you may know who this person was, and the fact that the name Catherine and your name showed up, it kind of showed up in there. It seemed
It was
likely.
me. That was my
Okay.
name.
Yeah, it seemed odd that it was here, and I just wanted to get some more information about that. All right, then. As we're looking for this, do you obviously you have no real need to see Wellbore again, but if we happen to find him, is there anything that you would like us to say to him besides never come back?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, he knows not to come back. We have no words for each other. If he tries to come back, I'll probably cut his dick.
Now, my question is, what if he was taken
Oh.
without his own?
Well then,
Well, if that's the case, then you can bring him home. But I don't know that I would believe him. I mean, it's been 16 years. I don't.
Well, it's not so much the fact. I mean, God forbid if something did happen and he could have lost all his memory. I mean, I want to.
If you find him in a state where you believe that he did not need to leave home, then you can send him back here, and I'll figure out what to do with him. But I don't know. She goes very silent and looks at the floor for a while as if she's running through things in her mind, maybe wondering if she made the wrong decision years ago to give up and focus on her child. But she gives you a physical description of him. He was kind of a thin, taller man with dark brown hair. He was a human. Her son Lee is well-built, tall for 16, and also has his father's brown, wavy hair. She gives you a little description of him. She knows him better than her husband. It's been 16 years. He probably is graying by now.
well, Miss Catherine, I appreciate all of your candor, and I apologize for any discomfort we may have brought up in this. We're just trying to be very thorough to make sure that we can get your son back. You obviously care very much for him and would be upset if we neglected our duty in following up any possibility to get your son back. We are going to go at this point and talk to some other people from the town just to get an idea of, talk to his friends and things like that. See if maybe they had an idea of where he may have gone, or if he said something to them in there. But I'm sure you've already done that, so we're not expecting a whole lot from there.
The best I can tell you is that lately he was obsessed with the town of Briar. And I think you're pretty familiar with it by now already, but she describes it as being an abandoned sawmill village in the urban forest.
One quick question: when he left,
Pointing towards
did he by chance happen to take like a knapsack or a bedroll or stuff like that may indicate
He did take his hiking gear with him. His hiking backpack, his canteen, whatever other gear he had.
And how
his
long
bow.
has he been gone?
He's been gone over a week now.
And how many days rations and all would you say he has?
She, I have no idea. No idea what he kept.
He's never been gone this long too, so he.
So
He is an
that's-
experienced.
He's a hunter.
Yeah, he's an experienced hunter. So, if he felt like he was going to be gone for long, he would have prepared. Briar, because of the overgrowth, it'll probably take you 2 days to get there. So, if that's where he was going, he would have prepared for at least 4 days, and probably twice as much because he likes to prepare. And he wouldn't have gone off without ample supplies.
All right. I appreciate your time, and we will try to get Lee back as soon as we possibly can.
I appreciate it. She shakes your hand. She gives you a hug, and you a hug, and then she leads you out the door and returns to her cleaning.
And Miss One with Nature for it. And there, we seem to have the same goals. Would you like to travel with us to help us look
I think I may be of some use. I'd love to go with you if you'd have
for
me.
it? And the rest of the party, this is okay? Are we
Works for
alright
me.
with that? Okay. And we're gonna keep our
Always
eyes.
nice to have another nature nerd with me.
And we're gonna
Sherry,
keep
you
our
also
eyes on
know a
the.
little bit about the local
for
area,
Lee, correct?
Around the
Correct.
area, so
Okay.
you're confident you could lead the group to Briar with no trouble, and it will take about 2 days to get there.
One thing I would like to do.
What time is it right now?
Morning still. Yeah,
Okay.
you've only been in there for maybe an hour and a half, so it's far before noon.
One thing I would like to do before we set off for
Briar.
Briar is talk to some of the other victims as well as his friends.
And
I
we need
also,
to go check out the blacksmith.
Yes. All of this is stuff that I don't know that we need to do all as a party.
I'm gonna go talk to his mentor.
His mentor or the friend?
The mentor, the one he looked up to as a father figure from the
Okay. All right. I would like to go. I would like to go check out some of the victims that I read about in there. Did you want to go check out the blacksmith
Yes.
for it? Okay. Do one of you? Do you want to take the mage? Mage, would you go with her as well?
To the blacksmith, yes. Jareem is happy to do that.
All right. And you two.
Yeah.
Do you have ideas of where you would like to go, or?
Could ask a few locals about like any beasts they've heard about, any rumors.
I think we need to get somebody working on just stuff about the beast, because we heard about the attacks, but we didn't hear much about what they think is making these attacks. And I think that would be good, and I think it would be good to try to talk to some of his friends too.
Okay.
So it may be worthwhile to kind of split up. We'll meet back here about lunchtime, have some lunch, and then kind of set off.
Okay. Works for me.
Before we split, if I may, I'd like to properly introduce myself. My name is Ayer. It's lovely to meet you all, and I apologize for my standoffishness. I'm very worried about her son, and I did know about the wolfsbane, and I didn't want to say this where she could hear. The wolfsbane is used to cure lycanthropy, and I don't know if he was trying to cure someone else or if he was trying to cure himself. And I
Zaus-
didn't want to say that in front of her.
Zaus, when she mentions that it's used to cure lycanthropy, you
My
realize
character-
that is accurate. You go,
And my
yes,
character
that is
mutters
what
a
it's-
few expletives as well.
Yep. Shit, damn, fuck,
What
balls.
is like?
How do you spell your name?
AYI with the dash and R.
AYI with a dash NR?
I.
I,
dash
yeah.
R.
R. Okay.
Lycanthropy, werewolf.
What?
Do you know what a werewolf is?
I'm aware. I'm making sure that I heard that. Werewolf.
Yes.
Werewolf.
Werewolf.
Fair Castle. And we're back.
Van Helsing, we are not.
The condition of lycanthropy, although extremely rare
I do have a crossbow. I just
and
need
sometimes
to get it to be a repeating
considered
one.
to be a myth, is something you all are familiar with. The belief that you are no longer fully human, you can accidentally change into a wolf, or sometimes other animals are used. But it's something you're familiar with.
Well, I know about demons inside people.
Thank you for
For it.
supporting us that.
What is this? I know I know about werewolves, that they kill things, but how do you cure this disease?
Generally with wolfsbane, but it's a very low success rate, and by the looks of the herbs that he used, if he was trying to cure someone,
Morbid? Can I have a
it
knowledge
didn't work.
religion?
Okay, that's one that I can do. And I like that. 7.
Awesome.
I have.
Well, you said not like that. I thought you said like that. Okay.
I said-
Or I like that. And
said
so I was like,
not.
okay, good. He's got a good roll.
No,
Sure.
Then
I've
I said
got
7. I'm
knowledge.
going,
You are also fairly religious being a druid. I want you to roll a knowledge religion as well for this. Just roll a d20 and I'll add a small bonus.
I have knowledge religion as well.
Yes, you are also knowledgeable about all things.
9.
Not enough. Spain is definitely the way to go.
6.
You guys are so fantastic at your jobs. Cool, yes. The druid speaks true. This is a clearly herbal medicine matter. Nothing but Far East remedies will possibly take care of lycanthropy, as far as you know. Alright, let's...
How did he get that? Like,
Probably, is there an apothecary around?
That was my next question.
If there's an
Alright.
apothecary around, he probably just got it from there.
Judging
Do you
by
mind-
the state of the herbs, it looked like you had a hard time getting what he did.
You actually know, because your earlier roll was so good, that you can find belladonna in the woods, in the Ardeep Forest, occasionally. It is not common. Somebody would have to really know what they were looking for. Or you could buy it from someone. An apothecary would probably keep it in stock, but
And if it was dried,
it
that's
has
probably where
it
he
has
got
roughly one use other than trying to kill someone, and that is trying to save them from lycanthropy. So
well, do you mind stopping by after the blacksmith, stopping by the local apothecary to see if our friend Lee happened to buy them there, buy that stuff there for it? Do you guys mind doing that?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
okay. I'm going to go with the blacksmith's one first, because that's the most interesting. Most of the other ones are going to be dead ends. So
I'm going to go pee while you go.
your hunch that the dagger was expensive is correct. But basically, go ahead. What do you want to know?
I'm looking to find out whether the blade he purchased was made or tipped with silver.
Okay. You hand over the receipt, and the blacksmith looks it up, and he goes, "Oh yeah, the young birch boy came and bought a metallurgically aligned silver blade, a dagger with silver encrusted into it. He was hoping for pure silver, but couldn't get that. It's extremely expensive." So I was able to meld one in onto the outside. He was very specific about that it needed to be silver. I thought maybe I could, talk him down to a copper or maybe a bronze or something that would be more affordable, but apparently his mother likes silver, so that's what he wanted. I've got a couple others that you could buy if you're interested.
I'm not interested, thank you. How concerned was he with getting the knife so quickly?
He ordered it a few weeks ago. So I had plenty of time to forge it. It wasn't urgent for him.
That means he's been planning this.
He said he had some other things to get for her birthday, so.
Did he say the knife was for his mother, or just that his mother liked silver?
Come to think of it, he did not say that it was for her. He just mentioned that she liked silver and that her birthday was coming up. I may have just implied that it was for her birthday. But it seemed like an odd gift, but, maybe it meant something to them. Sometimes people buy some strange forged items. I once sold a man a golden horseshoe.
Sounds quite lucky.
Yeah, I think that was his deal, was he was some kind of gambler.
What was the handle made of?
The handle's steel wrapped with leather. Yeah,
Just typical.
typical.
Alright. Was there anything odd about his behavior when he came in? No, nothing specific. He didn't even ask me to keep it a secret, but I
don't usually discuss people's purchases with others unless there is a good reason. And I know that the boy has gone missing.
Okay, thank you for the information. I very much appreciate it.
Okay. Can I get a spot check from you? That's D20, and you add a spot. You don't have it right now, so just a D20, and I'll give you a small bonus. Until we find out what your actual skills are.
17.
Oh, good. So,
She apparently has better eyes than all of us combined.
ooh, hold on. I can actually give you a picture. It's a little dark, but this man here is with you. This is Jareen. He is a fairly tall, mysterious wizard. And he keeps to himself a lot, and he's hard to read because he has a mask on at all times. You've never seen him without it. But as you are walking away from the blacksmith, Jareen stops in his tracks and is looking at something. Some kind of poster that's posted on like a town board. And he looks at it for a while as you walk away, and you turn back to sort of to find out why he stopped, and then he turns and catches up with you. Sorry, I thought I saw something on the board, but it turned out to be nothing. Nothing important. That's it. Carla, where are you headed?
I'm headed to see his father figure role model.
Okay.
Yeah, some really good.
It's mostly a dead end. The guy seems fairly normal, fairly busy. He talks very positively about Lee. Says that Lee is showing a very natural aptitude for hiking and adventure, and hunting. He brags that Lee's one of the better archers in his group. But you don't get the feeling that he's lying. You don't get the feeling that he's got any information. The guy seems very upset that Lee's missing.
How long has he been doing this?
Running off.
No, doing the archery.
Archery?
And coming here.
Most youths are allowed to start archery as children with fake arrows. Lee has been competitively practicing since he was 13, and he's done very well. He almost won the tournament last year for his age group.
When did you actually first meet Lee?
When do we find out?
I run the archery team.
Don't know it yet, but
I run the archery team for
he
his
bought a
schoolhouse.
silver encrusted dagger.
So it would have been
Or they're
13.
laced with silver.
Alright, so you didn't know him
Silver
at all
standard, okay.
before?
Not specifically.
That's the gist of what.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not really. There are several children in town. Could have been any one of them. I wouldn't have known if I talked to him before that. The first time we really met was at the archery team. When he was 13.
What do you think about him and his things about the beast and
I'm worried.
I've heard him mention strange goings on, and I've heard that he's wandered off before, but he really hasn't talked to me about it.
thank you for your time?
Jason, where are you going?
I was going to check out the other victims from the news clippings for, and
Yeah.
okay, I pretty much have about 3 standard questions that I have for them. But if you want to,
Is anyone else going with you, or
no, I think we were all separating, going elsewhere.
Morbin? What were you?
The apothecary is in this town.
Yes.
That's where I want to go.
Okay. Zaus, where were you going?
I was just gonna ask around locals to
I thought
see.
she was doing the apothecary.
No, she went to the blacksmith.
I thought she was
I'm
doing
going
both.
to be.
She'll meet him there later.
Okay.
I'm just kind of asking locals about if they've heard about any kind of beast besides from like if there's a town myth or something about a beast.
Okay. All right, we'll do it in the apothecary, then we'll do yours, then we'll do Jason's list. So, you find 2 apothecaries in town. You go to the first one, you ask about Lee. Lee wasn't seen there. You go to the second one, you ask about Lee. Lee wasn't seen there either. Neither one of them has any information on the boy that you don't already know, which is just that, we heard he wandered off.
I wanted to know if they sell any wolf's bane.
One of them does not. The other one does, but doesn't have any on hand. And hasn't had anyone ask for it in a while. So it's the kind of situation where that herb you have to ask me to go get. And it's like that's a weird herb to be asking for. I sell a lot of curative things, not poison.
Okay.
And if you do mention the lycanthropy angle, they'll talk about it, but they're like, that's not something you want to try. I mean, it'll work, but it may kill you.
Okay. Thank you.
You'll
But-
die human.
At the very least, you might want to like force a lycanthrope to eat it. Maybe like rub it on some sheep or something, and if they eat it, it might kill them. But you got to be pretty desperate to take this.
Okay.
Or I guess if you've been bitten by a werewolf and you're quite sure that it was a werewolf or other were creature, then you're probably desperate already. So that might work for you.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time.
Zaus, you hang around the tavern and ask the bartender, some of the patrons that are there, if they've heard of the beast or a beast. And they have. There is an occasional rumor that there is some kind of skulking, nasty creature from the Ardeep forest snatching people's livestock, or someone's like, oh yeah, Farmer Ted disappeared one day, we think that maybe the beast got him, and somebody's like, I heard it's a troll, and somebody else is like, I heard it's a nasty group of elves that are trying to purge civilization, and somebody else is like, I heard it's
Say
a
stony face.
giant
elf.
boar the size of a house that eats people alive. And then somebody else is like, never trust a pig farmer. And, but most of the rumors agree only in that no one has actually seen it, or has only seen shadows of it, or something like that. But you don't find much on. Jason, your information winds up being similar. Now you said you have 3 questions, so go ahead and
I
ask.
think he does want us to go ahead
what
and check out
happened
the hotel.
on your
I think
attack?
we're gonna chase our tails here.
Woke up in the morning, went outside. 3 of my sheeps
Are
were
you
slaughtered.
Putting
Their
together what?
bodies were
Iron
partly
a little bit.
eaten,
I'm not sure.
throats ripped out,
that goes
guts ripped
insane.
out, that type of thing.
He
Some kind of wild
realized
animal.
that
It looks
goes
like a
insane. We're dealing
wolf.
with
Maybe a
fucking
pack of
wolves
wolves
on
makes
the
more sense. A single wolf would not have done that.
That doesn't
But,
go
like, a
missing
pack of 'em,
because he ran away. He got
Maybe like a pack
Yeah,
of
I figured
small
the
wolves
old
or
man
big
probably
wolves. Some people say small
I
wolves.
didn't
Some
like
people
him
say big
too
wolves.
much.
Like it's
this is
seems to vary.
player knowledge,
Um,
not
yeah.
character.
because you're asking multiple people. What's your next question?
Ford, did
But,
you see the person who
I'm
attacked or
just-
took you?
I'm
Uh,
thinking.
One
I'm
person
thinking. Lee
says they
found
saw
out-
the person who attacked.
Found out his head is a
the sheep.
lycanthrope.
Okay.
Is now
Really, they say they saw the creature.
going to
He
pin
says they
that
saw
down.
like 3 things
fear
that were
is-
maybe this long
That Belladonna.
and were like
If
really ducked low in the grass,
Lee
darting
got
away
bit,
from the
that
sheep.
means we're dealing with
Just
two
went out, heard a
wolves,
sheep bleeding
which is
late at night, was up, couldn't sleep, walked outside with a lantern. One
was
of
a
his sheep
problem.
was
One-
murdered,
one's a problem.
was
Two-
still bleeding out,
The
and
issue
he
is
swears he saw
two.
like this long, dark
starts
thing
they-
run off into the
Once they
forest.
start multiplying,
There were 3 of them though.
things
Yeah.
get bad.
3 of them.
That's so many people have gone missing. So
It was a
Okay.
pack of probably wolves that are
Yes.
keeping low to the ground.
they're not all
It was dark, but maybe black
Some
fur
of them may have
wolves.
just been meals.
But how did
Some
you?
of them may have just been meals.
And then they came back to attack you and took you.
No,
Ones
no,
that
no.
came
They're
back,
just
so
as sheep.
then-
No, this,
Okay.
this person was one of the
So this could
farmers
be-
or shepherds
Okay.
that lost
Alright.
sheep.
In which case, a
Um,
lot of this town.
He
is
mentions
feeding
that they
us
had
a lot of
red eyes
hornswoggle.
too. You could see the red
They're
eyes
very
glowing in
chill
the
about
light of his
the whole
lantern.
thing.
no
Um,
one's panicking over people going missing.
Nobody that you speak to says that someone kidnapped them and they got back. You do find one person who says they were attacked by something on the road. They were camping at night in the forest southeast of the town.
We're dead.
Um,
We're dead if we are.
They woke up
That's-
when something was like
Who's around while we're
biting
talking.
their ankles.
Let's see if there's
They
a
think it was like a
army of
giant
werewolves in that
rat
side,
of
that's
some
where we
sort.
stand, basically.
It's right there.
And they started kicking it, and it
No, that's Wolfie.
fled.
He's not a werewolf.
He even shows you like a big scar.
Don't
on
ever
his
accuse my
ankle.
wolf of being a werewolf again.
You gotta
So
change
I'm
the name.
never
That
going to
one.
camp near the Ardeep Forest.
dog.
That
That
place is
name is
dangerous.
used too much for Wolverine.
And it's what I keep
Almost
hearing.
every
I hear.
Marvel fan
But
that's a Wolverine fan.
like
says
some of
Wolverine.
Some of the articles mention people who were
not
kidnapped
Wolfie.
and locked.
Oh, you could talk to
Two
like
lives.
their relatives or family members.
Named Peanut.
Were they killed?
Well, people who have
sounds
gone
very
missing
fierce.
and did not
Well, that's the
get
thing.
found.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Venom
The ones that got
doesn't
found
sound
got
very
found in the
fierce until
garbage
you're dealing
because he
with
knew
a
that
6-foot
it wasn't a
wolf.
beast.
Nobody that was
It has 2
found
claws and a
was
tongue
is
and a
alive.
jaw. The blood
No
one.
one that was found says that a beast took them. Do you
So the
understand what I
ones
mean?
that are still MIA are up on the wall. The ones that were found, the articles were taken and thrown here. Oh well, they're found.
Yeah.
It wasn't the beast.
Not a single person was kidnapped or went missing that then came back and said a beast took me. None.
Okay.
So
If that happened, if they were kidnapped or went missing and then came back, it was Pervy Steve kidnapped me, or I got lost in the woods for a couple days and then got found, or
locked in the
I got
closet.
locked in a closet, nobody could hear me screaming, finally somebody opened it to get potatoes and found it. That type of thing.
Someone did
Okay.
say
Mundane,
something, attacked them on
normal disappearances, they went in the trash. The ones that are still up on the wall are people who disappeared and were not found.
Okay.
So those are the families and friends of those people.
You can
have
speak to
talk
some of their family and friends. And their situation is like, you know, Jimmy was going to school and he always walks this path. It was 6 years ago. We don't know where he went. No one's seen him. Or, you know, my wife often makes trips to the next town over. She went to sell fish and she never came home. That type of stuff.
One of the common themes throughout all of this is the location near the Briar camp.
Yes. A lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them are in the southeast toward
think
the
we
road
have no
that used
other
to
choice, but
Why does it feel like the DM gods are pushing us towards?
There is a tiny little white phone that says "Go southeast" when you pick it up.
Had a feeling that one was happening. All right.
straight to the
Then-
belly of the beast.
When we
Into
meet
the
up,
belly.
We could eat
when we meet up with the rest of the
uh,
group,
blacksmith.
I relay all of that information to
Okay.
them.
Since you are working together, I'm assuming you all kind of relay the information back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything phenomenal anyway.
There is a rumor of a beast in the Arctic forest. Nobody knows exactly. Nobody's seen it except for shadows. Some say it's an ogre. Some say it's a group of vengeful elves.
So we get to go
Right.
back
And
and
that dog's
play.
going to town on Harm.
Yeah.
So we get to go back to play in the forest.
Yep. Let's
Sounds
go
like fun.
hunt down a werewolf.
Yeah, you two should be happy in the forest.
Yeah, normally my character is, except for the fact that every time I go in the forest,
His
I
rolls
suck.
fucking suck. They tank.
What kind of mushroom is this? Eat it, find out.
Where's the garlic herb?
It's
in
glowing
it?
green and it hurts my hand when I hold it. That's probably just regular mushroom cap. You probably just fry it up and eat it. It's good.
You think I'm joking? That's how
Not-
my
not
character
at all. That's
operates.
entirely accurate. Okay.
Why do you think I have
So
a
let's
By the
just-
time you've finished
The
up
one
your
with the 10
investigations,
minutes.
it's a little bit afternoon.
How long does it take to get to?
So 2
2
days.
days.
2 days.
If you start
Well,
now,
we
you'll
might as well
sleep
go ahead.
once at least before you arrive.
Alright, well we better get started if that's where we're going.
Yep,
Yeah.
let's go ahead.
Alrighty.
I tried to
Rock and roll.
I tried to stock up on some Wolfsbane, but they're out.
They're all
Before
out
we
of
leave,
Wolfsbane.
does anyone have a silver weapon?
Nope.
We should. Good thought.
That would
Yeah.
I'm not carrying it, but someone needs it.
You
Or-
think a blacksmith can make silver
We
arrows?
probably
took
can't
him
make it
weeks
right
last
away.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that they were silver. It was a silver dagger.
It was, and the blacksmith also said he had weapons to buy. He didn't mention whether they were silver or not.
Silver isn't super common as a weapon.
It's
I'd be
definitely
surprised.
not.
Why silver though?
Make a intelligence check.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening at all.
Anybody else want
Or-
to make an intelligence check for silver weapons?
That was a 3, by the way. After the
Wait a
modifier.
minute. You want to
Sure.
give me a 17?
17, good.
I'll give it a try. I have a -1 mod to it, but
I'm happy with my little.
oh, 17.
11.
11, 17, that's after your modification?
Yep.
17 is good enough. Common belief is that a were creature, a lycanthrope, is vulnerable to silver or silver-coated weapons.
Weapons that are silver or silver coated.
It is even believed by some that they are immune to damage unless it is silver. Which doesn't really hold up to conventional discussion. Like, somebody's like, well, what if you shove it off a cliff? It bounces. Okay? What if you drown it? That's fine. What if you hit it with a fireball?
Okay.
No, guys, silver weapon, come on.
Question, guys. Does anybody have actual silver in their money?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
yeah.
a few pieces.
Can we like
Meld it.
tie that
see
to
if
our
he can.
weapons?
Well, see if he can meld it down at least and put it as a tip, and we have it just in case.
Does anybody
you
have
said it took weeks,
craft
right?
weaponsmithing?
No, if we
No,
go,
we
to,
go
the
to the
blacksmith
blacksmith.
before we leave.
Got it.
But that's
We
my
haven't
point.
left
He,
it.
And
he said it took weeks to do the
make
dagger, right?
But he also encrusted it within the weapon itself.
He also
Yeah.
kind of mentioned that
And he didn't have the silver.
that it
himself.
wasn't a rush thing. That the
Yeah.
kid said he wanted it. He negotiated price and then said I can wait a few weeks to get it. So it was kind of like a back item. It wasn't something that was I have to get it done today. But there you go.
I mean, do we
Let's-
really want to waste time on this?
Well, let's see
Well,
how long.
if it's invincible otherwise, then I'd prefer
I
we.
mean, how long does it take to smelt?
In player's handbook. Thank you.
If it's invincible otherwise, I'd
You'll have
rather
to ask the
we walk.
blacksmith how long it'll take him to
I don't know that I believe the legend
Actually, I don't even know if she
necessarily, but
asked
I'd
if
rather
you had
be
any of
safe.
Yeah, I don't want to walk in there in case this thing is invincible. Because then
Okay, well,
we're
I'm
all
gonna.
screwed if this thing is invincible and we can't kill it because we don't have silver.
If the thing,
So I'd rather take the extra few hours to get some sort of
Okay,
silver
let me ask
encrusted
you
weapon.
this, just out
but
of.
if the thing was
Player
invincible,
not.
why wouldn't
Sure,
it
no,
be
go
attacking constantly?
Okay, with it being like my bastard sword
have no idea.
being Masterworks, would that have some of that silver or something? I don't know. Being an player, that's why I'm asking.
It is pure steel. It's just it's very well worked, very well balanced. It helps you hit better, strike truer, but it's not alchemically silver.
Okay, I didn't know if there was anything within it.
In fact, silver weapons are actually less useful typically. They actually have a
Right.
penalty.
because they
Because
break
they-
a little bit.
They're brittle.
Yeah.
They're not
They
quite as
shatter.
well weighted. Yeah.
They're only used.
They're
really
only
for
used for
lycanthropes.
dainty little steak parties, or if you need to stab a werewolf in the face.
They're good ornamental,
They're
ornamental
Yeah.
things too. It
Yeah, a
looks
lot of
really-
commanders who sit on top of horses and direct other people around have silver weapons because they look cool.
Oh, Walmart management. I mean,
Exactly.
Is there a town guard we can go steal a sword from?
Oh yeah.
she liked
No.
that one.
Totally.
She liked that one. That was awesome.
That's stealing.
It's a joke. You're a thief.
That's why I'm giving you this
You're
look
like
like, really?
your whole thing is stealing.
Not from the good
Jareem
people.
is standing with you guys, and he's like laughing nervously behind his mask, like he's waiting for you to fight each other. But
I do not
He
steal
thought it
from
was
good
funny.
people.
Can we steal from the town?
The town folk are good people. We don't
Maybe
steal
they
from
are.
them.
Look, he's not 100% sure if you're being true or.
I feel like the town
I was
folk
just
are not
joking.
shooting
We're
straight at
not
us on some
stealing
of
from
their
the town
answers.
guard.
They're awful chill about all these missing.
Alright.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
while
like-
everybody's doing their thing, I'm gonna
I
walk
agree
back
with that,
over
but
to the
I-
blacksmith.
We have a.
I'm with you.
Well, yeah, I'm going over to
was
the
a
blacksmith too,
somewhat.
just to see if we can
I
get.
thought we were
I
kind of
thought-
arguing on our way over.
Yeah, I thought we were
Yeah.
all going
Okay,
over.
I'll go with the whole group, so I won't be
Yeah.
left by myself.
Kind
I wasn't
blacksmith.
saying steal from the town guard.
You just said that.
It
I
was
have
a
a
joke.
question for you.
Yes.
Learn to take a joke.
Ask me.
Out of curiosity,
crossbow bolt
if
from
somebody
butt.
wanted to have some silver milk,
We're headed
melt it
into the
down,
forest.
how long would it
Do
take?
you know anything about
To
those?
melt down a piece of silver?
I know enough.
Yeah, like if I
That
wanted
it
to
has
get
trees?
just some like
Oh wait, you can't even see
I could have
those?
it done in about half
Can
an
do.
hour to melt like some silver
There's a tree right over there.
art into like
Yeah,
a
did you
bar
see the
or
one with the
something, or
cobalt?
melt a bunch of coins
Clearly
into
I
a
did
bar. Yeah,
not.
it'd take about an hour.
and if you like dip it out, would you? how
Some
much
nature
would that
warrior
cost?
you are.
Good question. Hold on. Let
I'm
me,
the guy that took
pull it up
down
here.
a Zentarum
It may be
agent.
wise to ask him if you could dip a weapon and coat the weapon perhaps.
I know.
I
like,
know it's somewhere in a book. I don't know if it's the DMG or the Player's Guide.
I recommend not giving me like the only silver tipped arrow or something, cause
but I can't find
I
it.
will go.
So a silver brick. How much is a silver brick worth? Or-
well, my
that the DM's
plan
guy?
is that
Yeah.
Is the
I
DM's guy
want
behind you?
to try to do something. As you see, I'm the fighter, and
right.
I want to try to boost morale and maybe hand out like a silver tip arrow for like appreciation and stuff like that. So I just wanted to see if I can get some tips.
Well, I
Nice,
absolutely have silver tipped arrows in stock.
You do?
Yes, and he kind of goes over to like a case where he brings out a couple different types of arrows, and you know a little bit about fighting, so you're looking at. He's got arrows that are made of coal iron. He's got some arrows that look like they're tipped with some kind of black rock that you're not.
Excuse me,
entirely familiar with.
sir. What are those black tipped arrows?
Give me a second. I think this might all be DMG actually because of the.
Because the,
Right there,
the
bottom-
ranger is
bottom
very
of the page
interested in
into
black
that.
tipped arrows. Those sound cool.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps.
Excellent. So that's what I'm looking for there. There's a lot of different metals that are odd that you can make stuff out of, and most of them are fairly expensive. The rock ones are not going to be here. So
Oh, he's got silver tipped arrows.
However, silver-tipped arrows, each one of them is 2 gold pieces.
For one.
Yeah.
2 gold for
Item
one.
cost
so-
modifier plus 2 GP.
Well, I
How
have
many does he got?
399
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
gold pieces.
That's alchemical silver. That's
Yeah.
basically when you've bound silver into the steel.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as melting a couple silver pieces and then dipping your sword in it. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, because that
Thank you, too.
balances the
It
sword.
unbalances the sword. It
Or-
dulls
well,
the edge.
That's why we're.
What you want to do is melt steel and silver together, pound it out, create a new weapon. And I have some in stock, or I can, create one for you in a certain amount of time. Basically, whatever you want, I can get for you. And I can give you the price for it. So if you want a silver version of your bastard sword, that is a 2-handed weapon. Correct?
Well, for them, not me.
Not for you. It would be the price of the weapon plus 180 gold pieces to line it with silver.
How long would that take?
What about a?
It won't be quite as good as a regular steel weapon. It has a negative
Right.
penalty. Let me roll for this, actually. You might be in
My
luck.
question is, does he have any weapons for on the go?
He,
Sweet.
rummages around a big
He's
barrel
got some
of shiny
stock.
items.
Silver
And he
weapons.
pulls out
Yes.
a blade.
At the
that is
very least,
roughly
he's got
the size
silver
of your
arrows
sword,
and stuff.
but it's missing a hilt. He goes, I actually have
Pick
this
up
one
a
in
quiver
stock.
of those.
It's,
I can't
it's,
miss
it's perfectly
20
fine.
arrows
I just
in a
need to
row.
repair the hilt, and I could probably do it in a day. I can have it tomorrow morning if you need it. If you really need a rush, I could maybe charge you a little more and get it done in an hour or two to bind it to the hilt, right? But,
How much?
maybe an extra 10 gold.
So how much would the?
So altogether, it's the cost of your bastard sword plus 10 plus 180. So 190 plus whatever the bastard sword's cost, which is in the player's handbook, which is here.
Thought those were 50 gold. That could be wrong.
It is bastard sword, not great sword, right?
Yes.
I think bastard sword is expensive. Isn't it?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Like great
That was
sword
like
is cheap.
50.
A hand and a half sword. What's up? There it is. 35. So 35 plus 190,
225.
225.
You can have it done in an hour.
I'll get it done in an hour. You can come back an hour from now and it'll be ready to go. Cooled, wrapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we can get some lunch and then
Yeah.
head out. And how many? Does he have any silver-tipped crossbow bolts?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have 20 of those available.
Two apiece.
I believe they're 2 apiece.
Same as the arrows.
Doubly check.
You don't have any
Crossbow
weapons,
bolts.
do you?
Normally
Or you
it's
can't
10
carry.
for gold.
I have a
However, it's
crossbow
plus 2
and
per,
a mace.
so forget the 1 for the 10. That's bullshit. So yeah, it's
But
2
I
gold
don't-
apiece.
I'm not. I don't have stats.
And you got
I'll miss
20?
more.
I've got 20
than
available.
anything
Yeah.
else.
I'll take all
it's
20
just-
crossbow.
Okay.
Crossbow
How
bolts.
many
40.
silver arrows do you have?
I also have 20 of those.
I will take. It's 2 apiece.
2 apiece.
I'll take those as well.
All right, that's 40 gold for you. Anybody else buying some silver?
He got all the crossbow bolts. That'd be the only thing I could.
Oh, did you want some too?
No, you're a better shot. I have.
I'd
Sure we are.
rather him
I
have at least
terrible-
one put on one in case it should come close range and he can take it and use it as a.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 1 silver.
What are you able to?
I don't carry metal.
What are you going to do though? Is what I'm asking in case he
gonna be
comes in
friends-
combat.
Friends with it.
She's gonna
She's gonna heal us.
zap it with spells.
She's
Or
going to
force
heal us.
Wolfsbane down its throat.
She's going to. Druids can heal.
Oh,
Where they
I didn't
cast
know that,
spells.
actually.
Druids can do a lot of things.
Well, we've got to have make
Should've
sure we
underestimated
have
her.
everybody's,
Mhm.
you know, because if she cannot carry metal
You're like a
and stuff,
nature
we got to
hunter.
make sure we got to cover these two.
Mhm.
He has it just in case it tries to sneak up behind. If this is what we are facing.
Mhm.
Well, all signs are pointing to that at the moment. So
Mm-hmm.
And if it's any consolation, I'm much better from a distance fight. Okay. With it, so I will stay back and guard the druid as best as possible.
I will go.
Those arrows with the rock that I described, it's adamantine.
Those are going to be really
It's
expensive.
very expensive.
You know,
And he doesn't
Yeah.
he doesn't have more than 2
Adamantine.
adamantine arrows.
well,
Hi, Wolverine.
you know that, not Pierce.
Right.
How much is it for one exactly?
I gotta find it because that one's hard to look up.
3,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
never mind.
They're
not
up
cheap.
there.
Adamantine.
They're up there.
It's plus 60 gold for one. So an arrow is 60 gold. And there's a 50-50 chance that when you shoot it, your arrow is broken. So, you know what I mean? It's
So
like,
we're just gonna.
if you miss, there's a 50% chance you get it back. If you hit, it is gone. So
Okay.
that's how ammunition works. Yep.
Alright, yeah,
That's
we're good.
one. I'm gonna use the adamantine arrow after the wizard casts True Shot on, or no, True Sight on me, and the cleric has cast Blast for it.
But
That's
then
a-
still, if you get the hit, it's gone.
But you have done a
But
whole
you
lot
hit.
of damage at that point.
That's the
and you
red
have
dragon
hit
is
it,
barreling
okay?
down, and
You
this is
have-
our only hope.
You have
Basically.
hit it
Hail
at that
Mary.
point, okay?
And
And
that
because you know
does
what?
not have to
That
be
red dragon
nothing
has opened its mouth
If
to
you
breathe
don't
fire.
fire
It
and
just has
you're
to
about to
be
die,
able to
it won't
be-
matter whether that arrow is broken or not. Okay? Life or death, it's not one of those, I'm about to lose this arrow.
Masterwork on
I
it.
don't know.
It's a
It doesn't have to be
piece of-
masterwork.
No,
Does
it's because
adamantine
with adamantine, it specifically says
like bypass
all
the damage
adamantine
reduction
items
on
are
a dragon?
masterwork
It
in
can,
addition
yeah.
to
Okay.
the alchemical
It's-
silver's not. It's just
That's what the silver does, is it bypasses the damage
you
reduction.
take a -1 penalty on
Just
damage.
in
So
case
the
we need
werewolves
Hail
are not
Mary.
But of course,
invincible.
it bypasses damage reduction.
They
They
just
just
take
have
they have higher damage reduction. They have some damage reduction, unless it's a silver.
Yeah, adamantine is like it's fairly mundane except for the fact that it's super fucking hard.
Yeah.
So you use it mostly to like break other people's weapons. So you hit them their sword with your sword.
So basically
and
have it
they're
as a
snapped in
shield.
half.
So basically has it as a
And then they
shield.
go-
Let's go, boy.
Oh fuck! Now I'm going to beat you to death with this.
Where'd my
why-
sword go?
That's why you use a shield. Make it into a shield.
It bypasses hardness less than 20. That's its main purpose. So. Anyway, Moving
So
on.
it's
That might not
the
work on the real big.
I'll
red
keep this-
No, the real big dragons now.
Because they have a
Okay.
huge.
You want something a little more than adamantine. You want adamantine plus
I
3d10
think they
fire
got some, I
damage.
think they got something like a 45. It's up there.
It's
Alright.
it's been a long time since I've looked up dragons.
So the time's gone by, and
Is anyone else going to order or purchase anything that he has
Yeah,
available?
The real high one has
Silver
like
Live.
something
Everyone
in the
got their weapons,
40s.
but I don't carry metal.
All right, there you go.
I've got 20 silver arrows now, so
Okay, so an hour later, you arrive, and he places the sword on the table, and it looks
Even the
really
great
good.
ones are
It's
only
a great
damage
looking
reduction
sword.
20.
It glistens in the right
Okay.
light. It's got like a nice silvery
Still,
edge to it.
damage reduction 20 side.
He holds it up for you by the hilt, so you can see how perfectly weighted it is.
It is,
You
yes.
swing it around. It's if you were fighting a skeleton or a
Impossible.
goblin, it wouldn't be
If
as
you're
good as your
fighting a
sword. But
But
if
you better be able to do more than
does what
20
it's supposed
points
to do.
of damage on a regular basis.
So sword you have.
I actually strap it to the back
Okay.
with the crossbow, and I had my bastard, so
She rattles a lot when she walks.
Yes. I've tried sneaking with her
Have you
before.
seen the picture from Complete Fighter? I think it is. It's like got a fighter with like his arms, his cloak out, and he's got like 17 weapons strapped to him.
See, I was just thinking the Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
no size.
Oh man.
in all fairness, I
The-
have too because I have like 80 something
The silver
arrows on
crossbow
me.
bolts that I have. Okay.
60 regular. and
they are
20
going-
silver now.
I'll spend a little bit extra for a separate quiver, so to
Okay.
speak, so that they are away from it.
They're
They're gonna be,
separated.
they're gonna
Not grabbing.
be, yeah, I'm not grabbing. Oh look, I grabbed this silver one
Do
by
you need the
this,
price for a quiver?
for it.
Actually, I think it's included with the cost of arrow.
Usually it is
Yeah.
for it, but
We'll throw another gold in there then.
alright.
That seems fair.
I'm gonna throw another gold too then,
Yeah.
just to have a separate quiver.
Separate quiver for silver arrows. Yeah, famously, the archer from Order of the Stick has both cold iron and a different type of arrow, because one of them does extra damage against demons and one does extra damage against devils, and she can never remember which is which, so she always shoots both. And always hits with both, so she never learns which one it is. Because the demon will go, ah! And she'll go, I don't know which one it was! So, anyway.
It's kind of funny actually.
What if I could put the devil's trap onto my arrows?
Okay. What else, guys? Or are you heading south?
I think we head south.
All right, sounds like it's about time.
Southeast.
Southeast.
Don't head
Uh,
south and bypass the whole thing.
And definitely doing watches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Since everybody gets kidnapped down this way.
We're
and
heading into a
stuff.
forest where bad things happen, so.
But by the sounds of it, the people are pretty much alone. If maybe one other person with them, with a group our size, it might not.
Well, he's
It-
not one
it's-
that's been abducted, so.
It's possible, yes, for it. And I'm hoping for that because I really don't want to fight anything right away. Okay.
A year, right? That's pronounced right. You happen to know that the town of Briar is southeast of Panshaw by the old road. It's long been reclaimed by the wilderness due to lack of use. The road is no longer safe due to beasts that make the forest their home. Boars, bears, wolves, monstrous insects, animals, and sometimes even sturges have been known to plague wanderers of the road. Since the town of Briar fell decades ago, the town itself has been left to rot. It used to be a large community, almost the size of Panshaw,
Mosquito this size.
but from your knowledge, nature itself rose up
They're
and
been,
took the
yeah.
town back at some point. Either over time, slowly, or in
They're
one
really
massive
good
swoop,
for
you don't
fire.
know. But it's one of those situations where you have mixed
Good.
feelings
Go
about it.
on. They've all-
And a lot of innocent people were probably hurt, and you don't know exactly the details. Maybe elves were involved, or maybe just like trees came out and started ripping people to shreds, or maybe hordes of sturges came. God only knows. But
You say that, and all I can think of is "Shut up, Carl."
shut up.
Start
But a long time ago, the people simply abandoned the town. It was no longer worth keeping to them. So
I know.
that's all you know about it. You've never been there yourself. It's in kind of a hostile area. But you can follow the old road to the edge of the Ardeep Forest. It's still in use. Loggers use it to go and collect wood. The road itself, once you're like maybe a half mile into the wood, is just no longer useful. It now looks like, at best, wagon wheel ruts, overgrown with ferns, grass, bushes, even the occasional tree sprouting right up in the middle. It just hasn't been used in almost 50 years by anyone other than a couple hikers. So there you have it. That's the situation. You guys start into the forest in early afternoon, equipped with new weapons, and within 4 hours, because of the darkness of the forest, it is dark. So you're not quite tired yet, but it might be appropriate to set up camp just because
Pushing on further could
it's
be
going to be,
hazardous.
yeah, it could be hazardous to continue.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, let's set up a camp.
All right,
I want to.
I'll do last watch so I can pray in the morning.
you set up campfire, yes or no?
Probably not. That would attract attention. Or also a very small one.
It, roll knowledge of nature.
Can I roll that as well? Or?
Yes. Okay,
That's that dice you were supposed to rehabilitate.
there is a
Yep,
jail
right.
right next to it.
That's not good. Well, I tried. I really tried.
That'll
Generally,
be,
nurturing a repeat
15.
offender is a very low probability of success.
The druid doesn't often keep a fire, so you're really like, I don't know, but you feel like most critters are scared off by the sight of fire, and you're not likely to be attacked by bandits in the forest on this type of unused road, so fire actually makes more sense than not.
I think a fire would be good. In my experience, more things are scared off by the fire than are attracted to it. So.
In fact, last time you dealt with wolves, you scared them off by shooting
fire
at them.
arrows.
So
That's right. That was fun.
Yeah, because remember,
Yes,
just leave
it was
them
fun, 'cause
down.
no one
Besides,
died.
can't you talk to Nate? Can't you tell
Yeah,
the?
usually I'm not worried about scaring anyone.
Yeah,
off.
so usually you can just tell them, "I'm nice, go away, leave me alone," and they.
it works for you, but
I also have handled animals, so.
I'm also not accustomed to traveling with others.
you know for a fact it does not work for sturges, though, just to make Jason feel less comfortable.
They're like,
Can I handle a sturge?
You've never handled animals successfully on
Yeah.
a flying mosquito bat.
Can I do that and make
Yeah,
it
as
my
a-
pet?
No,
And then
you
just
cannot use a sturgeon. as a
No.
pet.
go.
Might be an aberration as well.
Oh wait, if
Curious.
it's
It's a magical beast, I think.
Magical beast.
oh, so those are like really bad to me, aren't they?
Again, let me make sure I'm not wrong.
Aberrations.
Tiny beast. I guess beast is
He's on the right page.
Tiny magical beast.
magical beast. It says.
Yes, one die 10, 5
you
hit
have
points.
the 3.5. Obviously,
Yes.
So that's probably
Well, you're also using the second rule book, not the. It says core
Have you seen
rule
Stargate?
book
No.
3. What?
core rule
They
for-
they
Okay.
actually
Okay.
took that monster from, I think, that monster book.
Yeah, they're
You fought those with intimidating.
Those are ugly.
yeah
I
they're
know,
they're
I
large
thought about it
mosquitoes.
then.
Yep.
That's really what they are. They're large mosquitoes. They
This is what a
suck.
sturge
Say that
looks
all
like,
the
by
time.
the way.
They
It's
pretty much.
about the size of a large bat.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
okay.
arrows are gonna be.
You can hit them. They've
Yeah.
got
Oh, they're large enough to be hit with arrows.
Yes.
they've got a high AC. It's tough
Maybe
to hit.
someone
But
other than me.
the good part is when you do hit them, they pop like a zip.
Oh my god!
Supposedly
Are you
that's
sure
what
you didn't see that from Stargate?
that's what the spider was supposed to do until I like.
Yeah, until you missed a little. All right.
I'm just like poking it with my finger.
Let me have
Spider the
my
size of a
scratch
softball,
paper
my
so you can
fingers,
tell
like,
me who's taking which
died.
watch. You've got 3.
First,
1, 2, and 3.
I'll take last.
somebody needs to take glass with him so they can watch what he's doing.
What watch do you want? What watch
You're
does-
an elf, you said, right?
Elves have low light vision, which means with a tiny campfire you can see further than a human could.
I can take the better watch.
Okay. I will also take. Actually, I'll stay and guard you.
Okay.
While you're,
I can. Do you want assistance during first watch or?
no, we're dividing the watch up into 4.
Can you do that?
That's
Sure, what the hell.
why?
Nah, fuck it. You can divide it up to 4. You can divide it up to 13 if you want.
Yeah.
Wait, how are we gonna do?
I can only stay awake for 20 minutes, then I have to go back to bed. Alright, 4th watch. Zaus?
This way we're doing.
Yeah, I'll do
Wait, fourth. No, fourth.
I'll do the last one.
Well, you two
whatever
are
the
fourth.
last-
Fourth watch is the last one, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's
me.
us.
And then
Oh,
You're
and-
3.
I have one.
I'll do
She's
3.
1. You're 2.
Alright, Jareem will
You're gonna
stay up
sleep
for the
straight
first
through?
watch as well.
3, 4.
I figured.
You're gonna sleep straight through, or you're doing
Oh wait,
the last one.
and
with
what
me?
what is
Yes.
Jareem doing?
He's in the
Mine.
first watch with
Okay.
Jareem. Yeah.
Oh great, so I'm on my own. So if
You have vision. You're.
yeah, how much does that help me before?
Yeah, but I don't. That's why I've got to take.
He's using that big dice that gave him an 18 on me.
Yeah. That was scary.
He's just rolling for effect. There's no attack.
Nothing knows we're here.
Really?
Please.
Although he is now looking in the monster's manual.
And
which is
I am
never
the
a good.
Yeah, and I'm first.
I wouldn't mind some wildlife coming up. I'd love to ask some questions. Especially if there's a beast running
No, if it's coming to hurt us, then it's
around. Not everything comes to hurt.
not everything.
She can talk to the rabbit.
Okay, if it's a rabbit, go for it.
And
Talk to
convince
it.
the rabbit to kind of
I like that.
Unless it's the killer bunny from
swallow
Money
the
Python.
spike that's right
I
over the
I
fire.
did have a conversation with her.
Can you do that?
Hey, can especially grab the ones from out there at my place.
Alright. First watch, Cherie. Can I get a spot check from you?
I guess. Yeah, you ready for this one?
Yes.
21.
Nice. Can I also get a wisdom roll?
Oh, you
It's a
suck.
very good spot, so I'm going to give you a bonus on this one.
No, you're not.
It is. All right. I'll let you roll it a second time.
For dream, okay. Here's for dreams.
Actually,
9.
okay. It's about Jareem. Jareem has been, in your experience during watch, stoic. The guy sits still most of the time. He just scans the area. Tonight, he is walking around the campfire in like a patrol pattern almost, and he spends a lot of time looking back the way you came. It just seems a little uncharacteristic of him.
He's rubbing off on him.
Yeah, that's actually what you think. You think that Jareem is nervous that you guys are being followed.
That's why I said he's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking he's rubbing off on him.
Right as you determine that Jareem's acting out of character and seeming nervous, he holds his hand up toward you, as if to signal that he's heard something. No. I thought I heard something in the woods. It's probably nothing. And then he sits back down and leans up against a tree, and after a few more minutes, his bat comes back to him and like perches on his shoulder and then crawls into his robe, and then he seems normal again for the rest of the watch. And nothing else happens.
Oh, he didn't put that. Okay.
Do you need anything during your watch? You have a chance to respond to that if you wish.
Where are you okay, Dream?
It's fine. Nothing. I thought I heard some kind of animal in the woods, but I had the bat fly around and he seems fine. So it's just me. I don't feel well.
No wolf.
No,
I feel more comfortable in the city. That's all. It's
Yeah,
not.
you can't stop me from getting.
Okay, because you
Screw
were
you. My wolf.
walking around a lot, and
And you need a
I'm on
free animal
watch. It's
companion.
my job.
but you've never done that before. You and I've taken watches several times before, and
For a while, you're not sure if he's responding to you or what, because again, he's wearing the damn mask and he's very hard to read. And he
You
goes,
can.
I've got a uneasy feeling. I thought maybe the bat was when I were communing, but it must just be me. I don't know. Maybe
for wolf because it's
maybe I've been out here too long.
versatile.
Maybe something about all the beast talk made me feel nervous. But is there an insight or
Sense motive.
Roll sense motive.
I'm screwed.
Actually,
no,
that does seem pretty reasonable. You're convinced Jareem is just being weirded out by the beast talk. So, you go to bed. You wake up the new druid a year. Throughout the night, you listen intently to the chirping of insects and the fluttering of bats in the sky, but there's nothing weird that happens for
Yeah,
you.
she don't even lure any dinner.
No, not in the middle of the night.
She probably wouldn't like that if you.
I wouldn't consider them dinner.
Zaus,
Already see problem.
I need you to make a listen check.
This is my son. You know he doesn't listen.
Already
I know. I know all about sons that don't listen. Hashtag her.
Well,
Oh,
That's pretty
That's a
good.
19.
Oh, fantastic. So
hear nothing.
shortly into your watch, maybe 30 minutes after you've started,
I
you
can't
hear the
shoot.
rustling and the grunting of some large beast,
Mm.
maybe 200 yards out, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself because that's a pretty good distance to hear something, but it is definitely moving toward your camp. Sort of.
I draw a bow. I draw my bow and get an arrow out, and I relax. I see your face. I'm getting there. I'm going to go over to Shiree and kind of nudge her awake and say, "There's a beast coming. Something is on its way here."
Are you sure you're
I
actually
am
awake?
300%
And what
positive.
have you had to drink
300%.
while we've been sleeping?
Listen,
He
get
seems
up.
sure, but his math is very bad.
Exactly, that's what I'm like.
Go ahead and make a listen check for me, Shuri.
18.
Ooh.
Plus.
Sure enough, about 150 yards out and getting closer to your base is some kind of large, huffing animal that's scratching at the ground and making a lot of ruckus.
Okay,
Standpoint.
start waking everyone up. This could
Wake
be
up.
It's not time yet.
You want to play, or you want to come to play toy?
You've never talked to me that way before.
It's because I'm your adopted mother. Listen. Seriously, listen.
Alright, I'm up. What?
Listen.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
How many of you sleep with your armor
What?
off? Everybody? Awesome.
Get the druid.
Druid. Ayer.
I think actually you
There's
sleep with your armor
something.
on.
yeah.
Yeah, there's something, Druid is like super comfortable sleeping in armor. I think.
There's something coming towards us fast.
What kind of something?
We don't know.
Okay.
That's why we want you.
You're for.
That's why we're all here going.
Knowledge
listen.
nature for anyone who has ranks in it. So you
I do not.
and you.
And I do wake you up as well. For it.
Oh, is it time for my prayers?
Not yet.
That's good. That's 21.
Awesome.
Oh, I got 5.
The sound that you're hearing, Zaus, reminds you very much of a badger. A very big badger.
This sounds like a very big badger.
You might consider it to be a dire badger.
Oh, dear.
Anyone feel like taking on Dire Badger?
I'm not sure we have a choice if it's coming right towards us.
Good, because it was a
I'm
rhetorical
waking
question.
up.
I will load the
Solid.
crossbow bolt.
Okay.
Do I?
I will also. load
Can I
mine
see
with a
anything
regular.
out
I
there?
got a regular
Or is
arrow
it
in mine,
is it
not
covered?
silver.
Is it?
You have dark vision of 60 feet,
Yes.
and that gives you 120 low light, right?
Yes.
Make a roll, because by now it's within
I think
120
you're
feet.
allowed like a sling.
But it is
that,
heavy
that
forest.
doesn't have any metal.
Am I-
What is it? Spot? You said
Yes.
7.
No. You thought you saw something dark between two trees, or more like ramble between two trees, but it wasn't.
I have low light as well. Should I?
Yeah.
What
Anyone
are
with
my-
low light vision
What
can
are my
take a
rules on
spot.
talking to wildlife?
I think you have to cast a spell to actually speak to them.
Dude.
But there's a skill called Handle Animal.
That dice is working well
Um,
for you.
where
22?
you can try to alter the state of an animal to calm
But
it
once we
down,
get combat,
to tame it, that sort of thing.
the players
It,
will-
yeah.
Where did I put it? Here. It's. I think Jason's probably gonna look it up for you.
Yeah, I was gonna check it real quick.
It may
Okay.
be that a druid at first level can talk to animals, or
Uncle Phil.
yeah.
22
I
for my
thought,
spot.
I thought it was like an empathy thing.
You do notice what appears to be a 500-pound badger
Ooh.
pushing a tree over and like rubbing itself against it, and then moving to another tree and then digging in the dirt. But it is basically coming directly at you. You think it's unlikely that it would do this randomly. It probably knows you're here.
This thing knows that we're here. It's coming right for us.
Are you sure it knows it's here? We're here, or
It's-
could it be just coming this way and we just happen to be in its path?
What it is doing is not accidental. It
What
is
is it doing?
rubbing up against a tree and then booking straight for us.
Or could it be he has an
The
itch?
behavior is similar to marking territory and scrounging for food, but the fact that it's coming toward you probably means it thinks you're food.
It
The,
thinks
the
we're-
wild empathy is what you're. Is,
Wild empathy.
Yeah.
It
Which
thinks-
means there's
level
probably more than one
2,
beast, and it's saying, "Hey, this
What
is
level?
my claim."
she gets that at
This
first level.
is
Okay. What is it? How
this
do I-
thing thinks we're
Okay.
food,
She
guys.
rolls a
We are-
1 die 20, adds her druid level and her charisma modifier to determine the wild empathy check result. Okay.
She doesn't
Starting
have a
domestic
charisma
animal has a
modifier
starting
yet, 'cause
attitude of
she's
indifferent, while wild animals are usually unfriendly. So I'm guessing that's something that's in the DM.
Okay, I'll whip it up. However,
Okay.
you should know, based on seeing this thing clearly enough, it's got sort of a wild, feral look.
Our animals are very.
It is
hard to
not
handle.
likely. It can be turned away, but it's going to be tough. This is not a normal badger that you could feed a couple pieces of something and it would sit down and eat. This
Yeah.
thing
Listen,
is
we could
The
going to
size
bite.
of an elephant, or
It's an
Rhino.
option, but it's tough.
Darius
we can
usually-
try and turn this
And,
away, but there's no way.
Also, just so
Honestly,
you're,
I'll
you're aware
just
with
move
wild
out of
empathy,
its way instead
they
of
must
trying
be
to
able to
attack
study
it.
each
If
other,
it
so they
thinks
have
we're
to be
food,
within
it's
30
gonna
feet of
come
each
after
other.
us,
Okay.
No
Then
matter
we
where
can
we
attack.
go.
Under normal
Why should-
conditions.
Why
Yep.
shouldn't we try and get out of the way
For it.
first?
And it takes
I'd rather strike
it takes
first
1 minute.
and make sure we
to-
don't start
Okay.
being attacked by this
But
thing.
that's
Okay.
What if we
give or
put an
take
ambush?
DM's discretion.
I understand the
If it's
situation.
try.
gonna follow us, it'll run right into it.
We could try
Okay.
it, but if it
Thanks.
smells us, there's no way we can get set up fast enough. This thing is barreling.
My thought. You have a way with animals.
She said
That's
so.
Have you rolled out her HP?
No.
We haven't done anything.
Okay.
I know roughly where it'll fall,
Okay,
though.
because if that
There's a
fails,
range.
then that's she's right there.
This
in
is-
the
That thing is gonna.
Okay.
This is the thought for it. Have an open course, so when it comes out into our campsite, sees you right away. We are on either side of her, weapons drawn, just in case this thing does not stop and looks like it's about to attack. Okay, we hold, and the minute that thing comes forward for an attack, we attack.
question: can Dream actually cast a spell that might help subdue this animal or slow him down?
So Dream is definitely up and alert. Usually when something happens in the night, he's kind of brushed it off and been like, it's fine, just shoot fire at it. We'll go back to sleep, like he did with the wolves. This time he's with you guys.
There's no.
Can he do stuff, you said?
Yeah, can he like subdue it or slow it down or?
Let me tell you, because I actually have his whole character sheet here.
We're both naked.
Cast web
Very
to entangle the thing.
Yeah.
And how we.
I have his
I feel like
first
we're
level
arguing
character
more in
sheet.
this game than we have in real life.
Probably.
I thought he was only first level. He did the same thing.
No,
I
he's a
feel it
human.
coming.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the badger, the arguments.
Enchantment. Interesting that it does not have the spell list. Probably didn't ask for it. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. Can I have player's handbook?
Tired. badger.
I think dire, aren't they somewhat touched by demons or devils? They have demonic appearance about
They
them.
had the spikes on them.
I thought
Yeah.
dire just meant they were much bigger and a
This
little
is all
wilder,
player
not
knowledge,
demonic.
character, really.
They probably have like demonic appearance.
They have a feral appearance to them. It
Yeah,
can be
but-
confused with demonic. It's kind of a.
Put them together, 'cause some of this stuff.
It's like one of
I'm
those,
looking at now, too.
wives' tales type
If
thing.
it-
Oh,
like,
dire
I look
beasts.
into
They
it,
have
dire
demon's
badger.
blood in them.
Unless
They're
it's-
mostly just from more wild
I'd
places
just
in
say
the world.
it's a wild
You wouldn't
animal.
know that,
I need
but she
to,
would
like,
tell you
fight this thing.
It's gonna
gonna
be
fight me.
under D.
Yeah.
All the dire stuff is in one spot together.
So Jareem is like, I could try to hypnotize it or put it to sleep. I don't know if that's going to work. It's pretty big. But if you want, I can try that first. We're still going to have to deal with it when it wakes up.
Oh, well, maybe we might not be here and maybe out of the way, like she said.
Bless you. Holy
Thank
shit.
you.
Tell me
Oh
go
god,
there
the
then.
dire badger, it heard it.
Yeah.
Here it comes. You're not going to have much more time to decide, so one more little chit chat and then it's going to be upon
No,
you.
I like the idea.
Let's do this
See-
spell and roll with your plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have the
Let's
crossbow
have her
bolt.
try.
I'm standing. I'm kind of. I'm not scattering. I'm standing. Standing to the side. Crossbow ready for it. And can I say I hold my action until it moves to attack her, or
Yeah,
attack?
Right now
attack
we're not
one of us?
in initiative order, so
Okay.
if you want to do something before initiative order, that's fine.
I am.
Is Jareem going to try to knock it unconscious first and then have her work on it, or is it going the opposite way?
If
I would hit-
if it's got a feralness, if Dream tries to at least try to calm it down so she can get an easier way to contact through. That's why I was saying that with Dream, to get her, have one start coaxing it, and then she able to get in there even more once it's more calm.
Or
Because
if
if
Or it pisses the damn thing off
it's
altogether.
gonna piss it off, possible with her too.
I'm worried about her being like right in its jaws
That's
if,
why-
if it botches.
That's why I said
that could be-
let's go from point A, go from possible, and try to keep working down.
I can't patch up very much.
I'm a
this
fan. I'm a fan of either we go all out in this thing right when it comes through, or we let her try. But if we try to do it half-assed, I think it's going to be half-assed.
And
Well,
I'm sure you. This is player knowledge, but I'm sure you know two claws
I
to attack.
As you
I-
continue talking, Jareem goes, sleep! And attempts to put it to sleep.
Okay.
thank you for taking us out.
But you know what I was getting at, right?
I know. I know.
This is super sketchy at the moment.
I'm not
That's
scared.
a terrible.
I am terrified.
You should
number
spend more time in
usually.
the woods.
Thank you.
Oh, that is good for you guys.
So the dire badger is maybe 60 feet away at this point when Jareem just goes, sleep! And
I
it,
thought that was the badger. I was like, oh.
it stares at you for a moment and then just like topples over, taking a small tree with it. And then it just lies there flumped over. And Dream goes, worked. Sleep.
Thank you.
You
Talk
should
to
kill
them.
it now.
You
You gonna try
I
and-
don't know how much talking I can do with something that's asleep.
you
No,
might be able to
but-
get it subconscious.
I don't know much about animals. That's not a normal badger, is it?
Probably not.
No, that's a dire badger.
We
You
don't
thought
know
it
what
might
that
be a
means.
normal
No.
bear, but you
Yeah.
see it's got these like long ass
Yeah.
badger claws.
No, Dad, I rolled high enough on my knowledge nature.
Oh no, he says it's a badger, but I mean, you look at it and go, "That's a bear." It's
For-
fucking 7 feet long.
Well, if he's saying it's a badger, I'm going, that's not a badger. Badgers are not that big.
Then he points out the tail. Bears don't have tails
Bears
like
don't have
this.
tails like this. This is a badger.
I can try my best to contact it and see if I can't get through.
I like Jareem's idea,
Um,
but
I feel like
So
This is not normal.
the creature is currently asleep. If you wake it up, it'll probably be a little groggy for a bit, but
And pissed
unless you
off.
are successful, it will get angry. It's tough. It's a tough position. You've killed animals before. It's not like you can get away with never doing it. Sometimes they're sick. Sometimes they're crazy. Sometimes they're unnatural. Sometimes they just don't like you and you have to defend yourself. And if you feel like being a vegan druid, that's totally fine. You never kill them to eat them. That's okay. The natural world does require that some animals eat others. So for defense, you're not dead against it, but it's up to you if you want to try something else first. It could be dangerous. You could put yourself and others at risk, but you could save an innocent animal's life. Maybe.
I think I might try to touch its conscious for maybe but a moment just to get a sense of what's going on.
Okay.
Or if there's something that's controlling it.
Okay. Let me
It's the dying bear.
Check something quick. You will probably
It's
have
also large. This is a medium. It's the size of
first and
Yeah.
second.
Badgers are not that big.
Calm animals.
This is not a badger.
charm
This is a
animals.
badger. Look at the tail. Bears do not have tails like that.
And badgers don't have bodies like that.
What do you expect me to do?
Druid spells work a lot like cleric spells. You sleep, and in the morning you pray to nature, your god, whatever, and you select which spells you want from the day. It's not like a wizard where you have to study them and prepare specific ones. You prepare them in the morning out of a list of anything. So if you believe that you will have to speak to animals, that is one of the options in your first level spells. So it's very likely that you have either calm animals, charm animal, or speak with animals prepared. They will all require the animal to be awake, but you actually do have the ability to speak with animals if you wish. It's a spell. So what
In
we'll
that
do?
case, it's better that we don't wake it.
Okay.
Y'all can kill it. I'll walk away.
Okay. She's fine with killing the badger. It's badgers, dire badgers especially, are just super filled with anger. So it's pretty tough to say, yeah, I can make this thing walk away. All right, coup de grace. All right,
Use
roll
a silver weapon.
roll your critical damage as if you crit it automatically.
Don't break your silver.
Oh no, my
No,
silver's still in the bag. This is my regular bastard. Thought I grabbed it up.
Actually, with a coup de grace, is it automatic max damage?
I can't remember. I thought it was an automatic crit.
I think it's an automatic crit.
Is it prone? Like,
Oh, it's asleep. Like, it
Yeah.
cannot defend itself.
This
at all.
thing is gone.
that means it prone belly up? Or is-
Can we just take a sword and...
Gut you like a pig.
Oh!
A lot of damage?
yeah.
Oh!
Plus.
And that was one die. You get to roll again, don't you, for crit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Roll a different one.
Roll a different.
Fun fact, an enormous bear-sized badger has a lot of hit points, so...
Not a six. Not a six. Not a six.
6.
And you should have one more crit on that, right? Isn't it a times 3?
Great.
I thought swords were times 2.
No, it's times 2.
Oh, okay.
So I know my bow is times 3.
It's 3. That's
Once
ni-
they're
ni-
done, I've heard
19
badger skin makes great clothes.
19 total damage.
Got it.
If
But
anyone's
there's-
interested in a lot of fabric.
Don't you add the damage?
think
The
there's like
strength
a-
modifier
Does she have the strength modifier twice also?
I believe you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then it's 22.
It's 22 damage.
22 damage is not enough to kill a badger
Oh.
outright. But I do want to double check. Why is it that when I
No.
look up a fucking thing in the table of contents in the back, it's
It
never
doesn't.
on the goddamn page that it says it is?
Okay,
No.
so what if it? I guess if he's asleep and I'm coming up and I'm whacking him right there across his neck. I mean,
But
Is he gonna
see,
wake
like,
up or?
See, like I always thought it was it functioned like a called shot auto crit to
As a
that
full
area.
round action, you can use a melee weapon to deliver a coup de grace to a helpless opponent. You can also use a bow or crossbow provided you're adjacent to the target. You automatically hit and score a critical hit. If the defender survives the damage, he must make a fortitude save DC 10 plus the damage dealt or die. So even if it doesn't die, it's still gonna fucking die because I have to roll a 32.
1 in 20.
That actually becomes with the con save. No, it's not.
No, it's not going to have a con save of 13
No, it's not.
in there. That's just not a thing.
Okay.
Can I handle this?
Yep,
animal
nope,
and turn
so
it into
it-
my pet?
It like wakes up and
fortitude
starts
is a plus
making
7.
noises, but you just keep twisting until it stops moving.
Well, I went
Um,
for its neck. What do you expect?
Exactly, and the druid specifically said the neck area is not necessary. It's the back fur you want to keep. So, yep, you kill a badger.
Yay!
A dire badger.
A dire badger. A dire, mean-looking motherfucker.
Not yay.
Yeah.
We had no choice.
There was no choice.
We had to do what we had to do.
Yep.
It's not something to celebrate.
I put dire manager.
Dire
You
manager.
can see where your mind is.
Right back to the Walmart thing. Gee, that's crazy. All right.
I need to get back to work somewhere.
Morbid and
else.
Kurth, your watch is during the hours when the sun is just about to rise and nothing more happens. And then, of course, in the morning, you guys can skin the beast together and basically walk off with a bloodied hide. You'll still need to do a bunch of stuff to it to make it useful, but you can throw it in a pack and it's not going to smell or anything. So, and badger meat.
Yes.
So no one has to use a ration tomorrow. Everybody. Speaking of mushrooms and stuff, there are plenty of different food options for someone who's not going to eat the badger.
Well, yeah, we're in a
You're in a forest. It's like a constant buffet.
Just stay
It's
away
a
from
salad. It's a Wendy's salad bar.
Just stay away from the belladonna.
Yeah, don't eat the belladonna.
No, if we find that, we need that.
And dandelions.
And
If we
dandelions,
find the belladonna, we need
not
that.
native to North America, brought over specifically because they were good to eat.
Make wine out of them.
Yeah,
Really?
the leaves.
Yeah,
Just
common
you
as fuck.
can't eat the flowers.
But yeah, they are not native to North America. They were brought over specifically as a crop.
And then you make dandelion wine.
And that.
That sounds delicious.
They were brought over as a crop, and now they're like the weed of North America.
Yeah.
Like you
Rats are not native to North America either.
And all the rats are not either. For it.
There's several.
It turns out a lot of animals, when accidentally or on purpose introduced to a new area, take over.
That's how the sparrows were as well.
Hey guys, I got my wolf pet.
Yes, the wolf pet. It's a dire chihuahua.
It's a dire cobalt.
Dire.
Cobalt, more or less.
That'll wrap us up for tonight. When you
Okay.
guys wake up in the morning, you can take off. And
No, you
hopefully
can't climb on.
we'll find a character sheet for you next week. Or
I
say next week. We should actually come up with a date. 'cause-
That was my next thing.